Carrying out new strikes against Iranian targets. President Trump says in retaliation for Iran's attempt to add mines in the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burge says Iranian state media is reporting a series of explosions.
They are saying that there have been 6 explosions reported in one area down on Iran's southern coast, and also another load of explosions in another area. It is believed that the U.S. military is striking around Bandar Abbas, so that is very close to the Strait of Hormuz.
Authorities say 2 people are confirmed dead from flooding in the Grand Canyon. 1 person still missing, but authorities warn that many day hikers may not be accounted for yet in those missing numbers. Jurors in the Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts continuing to deliberate, the judge telling them to stay the course, even though jurors signaled earlier that they could not reach a unanimous decision, deciding whether the mother had criminal intent when she killed her 3 children. This is ABC News. It is the first day for Apple's new CEO.
John Ternus takes over as head of Apple with some big shoes to fill. His predecessor, Tim Cook, grew the tech company from a $350 million smartphone and computer manufacturer to a multi-trillion-dollar purveyor of everything from streaming services to payments platforms to VR headsets. Before stepping into the CEO role, Ternus was Apple's head of hardware. And one of the first things on his docket will be familiar. New iPhones are usually launched in the fall. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
On a newly created X account, Ternus posted, "Hello." Rescue efforts continue in Nepal with more than 1,000 people confirmed dead. 4,500 others are still missing following last week's catastrophic glacial breakaway that led to mudslides and flash flooding in both Nepal and Tibet. Those missing also include Americans. I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Will Seattle teachers avoid a strike in the final hours today? That is one story coming up. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic. And all in all, we're looking good. North 5 in Seattle at 520. We are working our only collision on the map right now. It's in that right lane involving a semi. You're backed up to Mercer. South 5, brief crowding between Northgate and the U District. We've got some brief backups at the First Avenue South Bridge right now due to a recent marine crossing. And in Renton, South 405 and Northeast 44th, there's a disabled vehicle. It's mostly on that right shoulder, but traffic is slowing at the scene. You've got about a 1 mile backup here. This support brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Well, the clock is ticking down to the midnight deadline, and Seattle parents are wondering, will the district reach a contract agreement with the teachers union? Superintendent Ben Schuldener.
I mean, I'm an eternal optimist. I really believe that SEA, SPS, the community, the city care deeply about getting schools open. I really do hope that we're going to be able to get there on Wednesday.
Last night's bargaining session stretched late into the night. Key issues remain: changes to special education, pay raises, and class sizes. The district says it's facing a multi-million-dollar budget deficit. What started as a possible burglary call turned into a wild animal rescue in Kirkland. Police say a homeowner in the Moss Bay neighborhood called 911 last week after hearing banging inside the house. When officers arrived, they found a bobcat sitting at the top of the staircase. Officers used the drone to track the animal's movements until Fish and Wildlife crews arrived, sedated the bobcat, and safely released it near Forbes Creek. A growing reward is being offered in the hunt for the killer of a Coast Guard lieutenant in Skyway. 29-year-old Connor Overstreet was shot and killed August 23rd near South 124th Street and Langston Road. Crime Stoppers and his family are now offering a $30,000 reward. Neighbor Jamie told KIRO 7 TV,
"It's a big boom, and I was there. I took my kid, dropped something on the floor."
Other neighbors also confirmed hearing only one gunshot during the incident. A temporary break on tariffs for imported beef is now in effect. It's a 90-day program that the White House says will help bring down grocery bills, but cattle ranchers are pushing back. Jack Field is the executive director of Washington Cattle Feeders Association.
I would just ask the president to please step back, stay out of the beef market. I'm not quite sure what the hyper-focus is on beef prices.
Field says his biggest issue is energy costs as higher fuel prices cut into profits. He also warns cheaper foreign beef could undercut efforts to rebuild the U.S. herd, which is at a 75-year low. Well, if you're driving near Redmond schools this week, watch your speed. The city has reactivated speed cameras at Redmond High, Redmond Middle, and Rose Hill Middle Schools. Drivers can be ticketed for speeding in active school zones during posted enforcement hours. And now checking your KIRO News Radio weather. Increasing clouds all day and 74 for the afternoon high. This evening we'll see some light showers developing in areas, and then tomorrow it's going to be a stormy one. Windy and rainy conditions with a high near 67. Thursday things quiet down a bit, still some isolated thunderstorms and 65. Friday will start to clear out with a high near 68. Mostly cloudy and 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there. Jake Skorheim sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Hey,
Spike,
brother.
welcome to the show.
Thank you, my friend. Honor. It's an honor.
It is an honor, and it's a privilege. We're very privileged to be here and talking to you guys all today. It is a pleasure for us to do so. We hope you're enjoying it as well. We have a lot of stuff to get to. A couple of tease things. We want to tease you a little bit to stick around for later in the show. We're going to talk to a company that might be producing kind of a miracle, which is kind of interesting. There's a company called Rainmaker who recently went viral. There was a post about them that went viral. They did a little science project where they were trying to produce rain. Have you ever heard of cloud seeding?
I have heard of cloud seeding.
Okay.
I always thought it was one of those internet myths.
It's not a myth. It's a repeatable process now, according to this company, who produced over a 3-hour period 19 million gallons of rain.
Wow.
Which they have all the data and science to back what they do, and it has to do with drones and all the stuff. And they're like, listen, we can kind of turn on the water whenever we need to. So we're going to talk to the CEO of the company Rainmaker at 2 p.m. today. He's going to join us live. So stay tuned for that. And then the whole show is packed. It's just going to be a lot of fun. But we have to jump right off with what I think everybody, this is interesting because I think there's a lot of people who are not inside the Seattle School District who are watching this kind of going, oh man, I feel just bad for those parents who are scrambling right now with less than 24 hours to go, thinking like, is my kid going to school tomorrow, or do I have to come up with some place for my kid to be all day while I'm at work, or what's the deal? We don't know. Joining us right now, Jillian Raftery joins us, reporter, KIRO News Radio. Thanks for coming in.
Hello.
You've been trying to reach out to the Seattle Education Association. We've heard from the Seattle Public Schools yesterday. Their superintendent, Ben Schuldiner? Schuldiner.
Mm-hmm.
He put out a big, giant newsletter to families in the district. He said, listen, here's where we're at. This is what we're offering. This is where we're far apart. And now we're kind of waiting for the Education Association side of things. And you've been reaching out. How's that going?
I have not heard back yet by email or by phone, but I did just check their Facebook account. They've put a lot out on Facebook, and just less than an hour ago, the last thing they put out was 1 day until school starts. SPS, we need a student-focused contract now. So that's not...
That's not moving.
Yeah, and the last update that I got from the district, I had reached out to them. That's the first thing I do every morning if I'm covering stuff like this. I reach out to both sides right away in the morning when I get in at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And the district had said they were going to do 3 p.m. media briefings every day until a contract was signed. They got back to me saying, we can't confirm that it's going to happen today. And they just emailed me saying, we will have an update at 3, saying, quote, several items as pertain to the strike and supports for our families and students.
Does that sound to you, this is your opinion, of course, but does that sound to you like they've reached a deal, or does that sound to you like they're saying, everybody, hey,
it doesn't
prepare?
Sound like they've reached a deal. I remember when I covered the longer strike in 2015, they went to the 11th hour, but the superintendent at the time sent an email out to parents and families the day before saying, you've got to arrange alternative plans for your kids because there's not going to be school. I mean, this is a different situation. I think that the superintendent is directly involved. He was hopeful as of yesterday. They're really pulling out all the stops to try to get a deal reached, but at this point, it's not looking good.
He said something interesting in his newsletter, Spike, that I'm not sure if you caught.
Superintendent yesterday?
Superintendent yesterday. Okay. You probably did, but I just want to highlight here for a second because I think it's really interesting. I'm going to read to you. This is kind of the last paragraph in that, 8 pages or something?
8 pages.
Very detailed.
A long one.
He says, let me be absolutely clear. SEA, Seattle Education Association, does not have to strike, period, full stop. If they do, that is completely up to them. They have a contract that they signed, and it will continue. The current contract they are working under remains in place. We are not the NFL owners who lock out our players trying to exact concessions or givebacks. We are good faith bargainers who are trying desperately to negotiate a contract that is good for staff and students, and the district has been clear that we would always be willing to provide retroactive pay if they don't strike when a new contract is signed. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that the negotiations have to stop. Yes, Jill.
And that happened in 2015. The strike started on September 8th before school started and ended on the 15th after 5 days of missed school. But they didn't have a deal signed. They had what was called a workable deal.
Sure.
So they did go back to work even without a completely
with a
signed
workable
contract.
deal.
With a workable deal.
A framework. Okay.
But kids were not kept out of the classroom. That was in 2015?
Oh, they were. It
for a
was
week.
like a record. Yeah, it was the first time in 30 years that they had been on strike. They were kept out of school for a week.
Got it. And then they struck again. They struck again in 22.
22, they struck again. Every year since, what's the ruling I'm thinking of?
McCleary.
rule. Yeah, that's when the state was required by state constitution to fully fund schools, which they weren't doing prior to. So that's why we've had every time a contract comes due, we're going to be looking at a strike from here forward. It seems that's the case.
And don't forget, with the new addition of the strike pay.
That ace in the hole.
Now, the strike pay doesn't kick in. Is it 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks into the strike? Is that when the strike pay kicks in? I forget what the actual date is. It's not like you just on day one can apply
there
for
is a
and get
break
it.
in your income. I don't think strike pay is a factor in this. I really don't, because there's no way school's going to be closed for 3 weeks a month. No way.
Your lips to God's ears.
My lips to God's ears. My lips to the ears of angry parents. That's why. That last paragraph you read.
Yeah.
From Superintendent, and I never get
Ben
this
Schildner.
right. Schildner.
Just call him Ben. Just call him Gentle Ben.
Not too gentle Ben, we'll call him. While that's great that he puts it out there, he's asking teachers to give up their leverage. And they will never do that. The union will never do that.
They will always hold your children hostage.
Of course they will. That's how negotiations work. They want that's how they work.
Doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to. But if you want to get it most you can for your union members,
yeah, then you're not
going to negotiate in June or May or April. When these talks were initially offered from the.
Because you can't squeeze as much out of the taxpayers if they aren't feeling the pinch of your kids being hostage.
And parents are calling every day, and the public outrage boils, and it pushes the district to the table toward what the teachers want.
But here's the difference, and where I think this guy was really smart. I feel like he's a chess player or something, because I do think it was a pretty smart chess move. He's now talking directly to the parents. Until this, only the teachers union was talking to the parents and drips and drabs, releasing, one-sided information. And now he said, here's the deal, guys. This idea that they're vastly underpaid, not true. The majority of the teachers in this, the largest block, I should say, of the teachers that they're talking about negotiating are in this one specific block who make $118 and change per year. And then when you add on all the additional guaranteed benefits, that number's $142 and change. And that's before they get any of the raises they're talking about or retirement benefits, all that stuff.
Right. And the common perception is the teachers do all this extracurricular work, and they work summers, and they work mornings and weekends. Unpaid. The superintendent laid bare what the reality of their financial structure and situations are.
Yeah.
And that's going to, we said this yesterday, it's going to undercut the public sentiment backing these teachers. That's a great negotiating move by the superintendent.
Who do you think suffers more from this, let's say the strike happens? Mm-hmm. Who do you think suffers more? Teachers? Like the teachers in the local communities, and the parents are like, listen, you teachers, stop striking. Or does it only fall on the school district for not giving the teachers what they want? Who are the parents going to blame? Because they're the ones who have to sit there with their kids all day. Not that that's a bad thing, but it throws everybody's schedule.
I think the teachers held every card from a public perception point of view until yesterday.
That's so interesting to me.
Because again, the perception is that teachers are overworked and underpaid and underappreciated, and sure, they should all make six figures or so, 300 plus, whatever it is.
I've never thought any of those things.
Really?
Yeah, no, none of those things.
Teachers should be the highest paid public employees ever.
Totally disagree.
Okay,
they work 9 months a year. Highest paid? 9 months a year?
Do we trust anybody with more than we trust with our teachers with? Our kids' futures?
I'm not saying that they don't deserve money. I'm just saying that they deserve the highest pay of any public employee?
I was being hyperbolic. Maybe a football coach should make more, but only him.
What about the governor?
No way.
The governor shouldn't make as much as the teacher?
It's funny.
I agree with you there.
We've had this conversation, and we talk about the budget, and that's why we're where we are. Is there $87 million under this SPD?
That's a good segue.
SPS is, right?
Yeah. Let me play this clip. This was him yesterday. Because does this change the conversation? I don't even see how you have a conversation when you don't talk about the budget. Listen to this.
Now, look, we do have $1.35 billion. I appreciate that. But almost all of that money is kind of already earmarked. And so the issue is, if we need to spend more money, where would we take it? Why is it difficult? It's difficult because we're broke. If we had money, I would love to give it to everybody. But the problem is we don't. And so when we don't have the money, it makes these kinds of discussions and decisions very, very difficult.
Is that going to work, do you think, Jillian? I mean, him talking about, listen, we're $87 million in the hole. I'd love to give everybody a raise, but that's just not the reality of our financials right now.
So the interesting part is the district is talking about the budget deficit, the dollars and cents. The Seattle Education Association and everyone I've talked to on background, off the record, they're steering the conversation towards special education and classroom sizes and changes. And so they're trying to make a conversation about that. It's about both. And you can't squeeze blood from a stone, of course, as everyone knows. These are complicated negotiations. There's so much to do about school funding. I know that part of the issue is, it's unclear how much money is going to come from the state in the next couple of years. And so that's one of the things. The union says, well, we're expecting more money than you think we're going to get. And the district says, well, we need to be conservative because we have this massive budget deficit.
Well, that's why they're in the hole they're in. Is counting on federal money that wasn't coming in.
Well, not just federal money.
That's why money. The state's in a hole because they're counting on further federal funding that didn't come in.
Well, no.
And now the city's going to, it's rolling downhill.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody's counting on money that they shouldn't be counting on when they make their budgets.
Also, the state could be in a lot better. I mean, just as I have to push back a tiny bit on that, just because I feel like I have to. Federal money, yes. Some federal money is not coming to Washington State. Washington State also vastly overspends on their budget.
Oh, couldn't agree more.
So if they were better with their money and they had more money, they wouldn't have to cut programs as much as they do. But all of the lawmakers in Washington State, they don't know how to balance a checkbook, and so they spend stupidly, and then you get stupid prizes when you play stupid games.
I think the teachers are kind of undermining their own point or their own
side of things.
Yeah. When they talk about, well, it's all about the kids, it's about staffing, it's about special education, about all these things, and when it's going to come to a point where like, okay, we'll give you everything you want except the raise. Is it about the kids where you come? I mean, right.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
no, you're right.
Put your books where your mouth is. Or you come back to class.
And talking about the raises, I looked it up back when I covered the teacher strike in 2015. Intro teachers who were just entering made $44,000 a year. After 15 years of experience and a PhD, they would make $85,000. And of course, we're looking at the numbers that the superintendent released. They said the base wage of $118,716. Sorry. That's kind of what the majority of teachers make. That's the biggest chunk of the representation.
Plus the built-in 27 days for classroom preparation, outside stuff for the tech days, all
and
the
there's
other things.
Other things there. So it
brings it up to almost 145.
Yeah, so wages have gone up since 2015. I mean, which makes sense in 11 years, but that's quite a big jump from $44,000 to $118,700.
Well, median home of a price is double in that same time frame.
That's true.
Yeah, but they don't need to live in Seattle. They don't need to live in Seattle.
That's King County.
They don't even live in King County. I work in Seattle. I don't live in King County.
You're a man among boys. You're a great man.
What is that? No, I'm not saying I'm a great man. I'm saying I'm a normal person.
No, I think it's an expectation that you should be able to live in the community in which you work.
We had this argument yesterday.
I don't think it's unrealistic.
You don't live in the community where you work. Why?
I want to live further out and have more stuff.
Okay, so why do teachers need to be able to live in King County?
I shouldn't project my priorities on anybody else.
Then why are you okay with them projecting their priorities onto you?
They're not.
You're the one footing the bill.
They're not projecting their priorities onto me.
Okay, you work for private companies. They work for us.
I get you.
So why do tax dollar people get to have benefits that you and I don't get to have?
I don't know why you're asking me to be accountable for their priorities.
You said they should be. I know, but you're saying their priorities are virtuous.
That's their. I think it's reasonable.
I don't think it's reasonable.
Whether I choose to or not, I think it's reasonable to assume you should be able to afford to live where you work.
I totally disagree with you.
We
totally disagree. Todd Myers.
Jillian, how you doing?
Todd Myers posted this. This is interesting. Listen to this.
Do we need hugs?
No, we live for this.
Todd Myers posted this. I thought this was very interesting. He says, Washington State elementary teachers have the highest median income adjusted for cost of living in the nation. In the nation. And then he compared them to Oregon. He says, compared to Oregon, they're 29% higher than in Oregon. I mean, when you add in all these numbers, all of these things, I think that the idea that the teachers are underpaid, which I'm constantly hearing. I hear it from parents, and this is the thing, too, that kind of always I scratch my head about. I hear these parents being interviewed in these news pieces for KOMO or KIRO or KIRO Newsradio, whoever it is, and they say, man, it's going to be tough figuring this out. But, teachers deserve to make as much as they possibly can. And, man, they're so underpaid, these teachers. And then you're like, well, actually, they're kind of like the highest paid in the nation per cost of living when you factor that in. And then that same question would be asked and be like, you got to pay the teachers. I wonder if they're like afraid to just say, hey, you know what? They make a good wage. It's a pretty good wage, especially considering that the district is insolvent nearly, $87 million in the hole. That problem's not going to get solved. You give everybody a 12% raise. They just can't afford to do it. So that would be like, as far as leverage and bargaining goes, they may be holding the kids hostage, the teachers union, saying like, hey, we're not going to let your kids go back to school tomorrow unless you give us what we want. The district doesn't have the money. So what do? They can make promises, but can they even write the checks?
Well, I'm hoping that the teachers are just negotiating. You always, like I said earlier, you always aim higher than you will settle. What if the salary increase is just their movable, their negotiable chip in the card in their hand? They're willing to forego that if they get all the different resources they want for these kids.
That would be very interesting. It'd be the first time they've ever done that they didn't care about the salary increase. It seems to me like it's about the salary increase, if I had to guess. That's my personal opinion, but I'm very cynical.
They say it's about both.
Jillian, thank you so much for coming in. And that press conference stays at 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
So
we'll have updates.
We might know whether or not there's a strike. They got to tell them before tomorrow. You can't just go to bed wondering if there's a strike or not. There has to be a definitive there's a strike or there's not, right?
One would hope so. I think that's the way that's been in the past. But, every year is a different animal.
I think what they will likely do is announce we don't have an agreement, prepare for the worst. We'll let you know if something happens before midnight.
When's Governor Ferguson going to step in and be like, hey, guys, by the way, just a quick reminder, these strikes are illegal in Washington State. You're a public union employee. You cannot strike per Washington law. When is he going to do that?
I always forget that. There's so many teachers.
Isn't it funny how we forget that? It's illegal.
Well, if I'm with you.
Then it's all of the conversation is moot. It's illegal. Done. It's illegal. Done.
What happens if would you fire them all?
Would I fire all the teachers?
Yeah.
I'd bring in scabs in a second.
Okay.
Why not? What are you afraid? What are the people afraid of?
It's not
educating kids.
It's not very practical.
Why is it not practical?
You're going to find 5,000 educators, scabs that aren't really working right now, that have come in and do an adequate job teaching your kids in Seattle?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. If you think the ones currently are doing such a great job, they're not even in the classroom. Better than the ones who are sitting out of the classroom.
Okay.
Am I wrong about that?
I don't
You'd
agree
rather
with
than not be educated.
You're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't agree with your point of view.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
Are there 5,000 scabs? Call us, text us right now.
Scab is such a nasty word. Somebody willing to work. That's what they are. Somebody willing to work. It's illegal to strike. That's the bottom line. It's illegal to strike. So calling somebody a scab seems totally ridiculous.
I didn't come up with the word.
I know. I'm just saying it's ridiculous.
Okay.
All right. That's the question of the day. Do you think there's going to be a strike tomorrow? I mean, it's a very simple question. Is it yes? Is it a no? Who knows? We're going to find out. There's a lot of people out there listening. You got how many kids? 50,000 kids? 49,000?
No, more than that. 50,000. Yeah, 50,000.
Current enrollment looks around 49,000 students.
Okay.
Who might just be sitting at home right now. It's kind of like when you're a kid watching on the news for snow days.
Okay. I was thinking the same
just
thing.
Waiting there.
Yeah.
You know who's loving this? The kids. Kids are like, strike. Kids are like, give them what they're worth.
Well,
give them the money you don't have.
Above a certain grade, kids are there, but little kids really want to go to school tomorrow.
I think you're right.
They really do, man.
Little kids do. Older kids are like, you know what? These teachers, they're just not getting what they deserve.
They're the hardest work. They should be the hardest.
Stoking the fire. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We come back. Can we talk about when we come back? Can we talk about a little that bounty hunter situation that got a lot of press?
You bet.
We have some amazing audio and some amazing quotes from some neighbors who are just like, man, there's some crazy stuff happening in a local neighborhood here. So we'll chat about that. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Sunset Auto Family.
My name is Jeff. I live in Northern California, and I am 65 years old, actually 65 and a half as of 2 days ago. I've been practicing medicine for 37 years. People have this impression that doctors know insurance, that they understand insurance. Let me assure you they do not. Medicare is complex. It's really complex, and the government did not make it easy to understand. Chapter really helps you understand it. They talked me through what my options were, and then they helped me tailor make a plan. One of the things that really impressed me with Chapter was the human touch element of it. I was not talking to an AI agent. I was talking to a real person who answered my questions. And not only that, but they remembered the particulars from our last conversation. They really weren't just being a representative, that they actually cared about me as a person. And that sounds cliche, but it makes all the difference in the world.
To learn more about how you can get free personalized Medicare advice, visit chapter.com today. Again, that's chapter.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Progressive knows you've never met Channel 6 meteorologist Daniel Hughes, but when he says it'll be sunny, you trust him. After all, he is a weather professional who knows how to use a green screen and probably went to weather school. You never went to weather school, so you hit the farmer's market in your convertible. Turns out Daniel Hughes is not dependable. But Progressive is. So bundle your home and auto insurance and get 24/7 protection and reliable coverage. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Right now, save $50 on any AC service at Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Honest pricing, guaranteed work, 16 family-owned locations, and no appointment needed. Stay cool this summer. Bucky's.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub. Our Swim Into Savings event is here, and it is huge. Special savings plus a factory rebate mean up to $20,000 off an endless pool swim spa package. That's our biggest savings of the year. Swim, relax, and feel amazing right in your own backyard. Do not miss this. It ends September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
The new SR-167 Expressway opens soon and will be toll-free till winter. It's the shortcut between I-5 and SR-509 near Fife, so drivers can avoid congestion and freight trucks can deliver direct to the port. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. It's back to the bargaining table for Boeing's white-collar union. Negotiators are set to resume talks with the company next week after workers voted down Boeing's latest offer. The current contract expires October 6th. The union says it wants stronger guaranteed raises and better cost of living protections. Boeing says it's committed to finding common ground while also preparing contingency plans in case workers walk off the job. A Bellingham woman is headed to federal prison for scheming to kidnap her 4-year-old son and flee to Panama.
32-year-old Talisa Manuela Munoz was sentenced in Seattle to 10 months behind bars. Prosecutors say she used a fake birth certificate to get the boy a passport, and then they secretly flew out of Seattle last September. She was arrested in Panama and extradited back to the United States. The child has been reunited with his father.
That's KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay. Nearly 240 casino workers in Tukwila are about to be out of a job. Kirkland-based Maverick Gaming says it's closing both the Great American Casino and the Riverside Casino on November 1st. The companies filed layoff notices with the state yesterday. Both casinos are on Inner Urban Avenue South in Tukwila. Maverick has been shrinking under Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection and has shut down 5 locations since April. The reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year checks in at number 5 on the league's top 100 players list.
JSN on the left side, wide open, and you love to see defensive.
It's the first time Jackson Smith-Njigba made the list, voted on by the players themselves. JSN led the league last season with nearly 1,800 receiving yards. He's the third Seahawk on this year's list, joining quarterback Sam Darnold and linebacker Ernest Jones. The upcoming release of Practical Magic 2 is putting a Washington town back in the spotlight. Coopville on Whidbey Island, featured in the original Practical Magic, is welcoming fans with themed events and tours of famous filming locations.
You're saying what I'm feeling is just one of your spells?
Yeah, it's not real.
Community leaders tell the Seattle Times a sequel is expected to bring another boost in tourism nearly 3 decades after the movie first arrived. Now look at Wall Street, where stocks are deep in the red for the second day in a row following U.S. strikes on Iran. The Dow down 434, S&P 500 down 60, the NASDAQ down 290. And now check on your KIRO News Radio traffic in Everett, westbound 2 at Homeacres. Reports of debris blocking the right lane. Traffic is jammed up to the 204 interchange. South 5 into Seattle, we're crowded through the U District. Nothing heavy at all. North 5 jams up approaching 520. And through Renton, South 405 and Northeast 44th, still dealing with this disabled vehicle on the right shoulder. We do have a tow on the scene. You're backed up into Factoria. Bellevue to Renton, you're still doing good, taking just 15 minutes. And now your KIRO News Radio weather, mostly cloudy and 74 today. Tomorrow, storm strengthens throughout the day, bringing windy and rainy conditions. The updated forecast says rain won't hit Seattle until early afternoon now. Tuesday's high near 68. Thursday, things taper off to isolated thunderstorms and 64, 68, and partly sunny on Friday. 68, a little breezy and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are adding one amendment to our question of the day.
Sure.
And that is, Spike, what was the question we were going to make?
Should someone be able to live where they work?
Yes.
Should they be paid? Is it unreasonable to ask that when you work a job, you should make enough money to live where you work? And at least in the city.
There's a caveat to that.
Sure.
This is a publicly paid job.
Absolutely.
This is a union funded by taxpayers.
Deserves mentioning. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Isn't it cute how Jillian was worried about us?
Yeah.
I thought that was so, Jillian's
She's like, do we need a hug?
You guys, you okay? Are you kidding?
Fight all the time.
Woo! High five.
We hash it out and then we move on. Speaking of moving on, this is a great story. I'm interested in this story for a lot of different reasons. One, because I like crime and punishment stories.
Mm-hmm.
I like
You're a fan of justice.
I love justice.
To say. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. One of my favorite movies of all time, Unforgiven. You remember that movie?
Oh, yeah. Shouldn't have decorated his saloon with my friend.
So great. All right. This happened in This is Greenwood, right?
Yeah, the Greenwood area, yeah.
Greenwood
At a
area.
park.
In Seattle area, if you guys don't get downtown much or into these neighborhoods surrounding downtown, like your Greenwoods, you oftentimes might come across a bustling RV community. Might be in one of these neighborhoods. You drive by them from time to time. Am I wrong in that assessment?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's constantly local municipal government efforts
yes.
to limit where these things can be, how long they can be where they are. Olympia just changed their guidelines.
Now, I should point out, because a lot of people might just assume that these are just Greenwood residents who live in their homes who also love to go and get away with the kids for the weekends in the national parks. That's not it.
No.
These are people who are living in their RVs on public streets, staying there for too long. In many cases, they turn into drug dens and prostitution dens and all sorts of things that you wouldn't want to have parked in your front yard.
Health risks, safety risks.
Yes. So anyway, you have some neighbors in the area who had flagged that as a pretty dangerous area, specifically with this one RV. And I guess calls to local SPD kind of went unanswered. They at least didn't do anything about the problem.
Neighbors had repeatedly complained about not just this particular RV, which have been there for quite a while, but others as well. As you mentioned, these become little communities.
Yeah, for drugs and all sorts of things. So some people come in with bulletproof vests. In the Seattle Times article, they say they're listed as there are 9 unidentified agents in bulletproof vests. Show up at one of these RVs, and they have weapons, which from a distance would look like handguns, but in this case were like pepper balls.
Pepper ball and projectiles, non-lethal.
Non-lethal is what they would be described as. Stun guns, things like that. And they're trying to go after somebody who's in one of these RVs, and the whole thing ends up playing out. And we have audio. Do we have audio on this? Yes. Are these both KIRO 7 cuts? Do we have any cuts from the actual video of the incident?
It's sort of inserted into the background of the neighbors talking, so you'll hear bits of like the pellet guns and the RV squealing out.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't great isolated audio.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The video is pretty crazy, though, because you see all these guys. You see what looks like a tactical team surrounding one of these older RVs. They go in. They're trying to get somebody inside. There's a warrant for this person's arrest, and they end up getting a woman out. They zip tie her. They put her in the yard of a nearby house.
Nearby neighbor, yeah.
What ends up being the nearby house of a nearby resident whose name is Allison Blevins, who we're going to hear from in just a second. But then the guy in the RV takes off and drives down the road. They end up,
He's apprehended like a block away.
He's apprehended like a block away after trying to escape. And then in the aftermath, neighbors are upset because the scene was pretty chaotic. But this is one of the neighbors speaking to KIRO 7 about it.
When you have 20, 30 kids playing at a playground just a few feet away from the incident, you're just asking for trouble. I'm stressed, I'm angry.
To have someone threaten to shoot someone else in your front yard is just outrageous.
And who knows, if the people in the RV, could have had weapons and, shot back at these people, right behind the park. So.
SPD says when they responded, they did find a gun in the RV. Neighbors say drugs have become a fixture at the park.
How often do you say drug dealing is going on where kids are playing?
Every day. Every single day.
And would rather see the city or Seattle police take action over bounty hunters.
I cannot wrap my head around that. This city needs to do better.
All right, this is crime expert Jim. Is it Fuda or Fuda? F-U-D-A?
I think Fuda.
Fuda. Yeah. He's talking with He's from Crime Stoppers Puget Sound, talking to KIRO 7 about this.
When I see a rifle firing paintball pellets as a van motorhome is trying to drive away, I thought that was a bit odd.
The bounty hunters, according to this KIRO 7 piece, they were with the Washington Fugitive Investigators.
We tried calling the Washington Fugitive Investigators on Wednesday to get their side of things, but never heard back. So today, we went to their office in Tacoma to try to talk in person.
Is this Washington Fugitive Investigators?
But no one answered.
They got one of the principals of the organization, which is based out of California, on the phone, asked them to make some official statement about the use of force non-lethal, of course, but the deemed excessive use of force in this neighborhood.
Sure.
They couldn't get a statement, actually got hung up on by one of the directors of this organization. So these bounty hunters, and there were like 9 of them surrounding this vehicle. They're all wearing, you mentioned, bulletproof vests. And by law, these people have to be licensed. Bounty hunters or fugitive apprehension squads have to be licensed. They have to also alert local police departments that they're going to be bringing in a suspect. They're going to try to capture a suspect.
Which they apparently did, but because of the way that SPD routes calls, didn't quite make it to SPD in time.
Didn't get out to the street, yeah.
To get out there and send somebody out.
So these guys start shooting at this RV with these, and they're projectiles. They're pepper balls. They're not, they're not
stun guns.
Stun guns. They're non-lethal force. But they just start firing into this RV and drag the woman from the RV. The guy then, speeds away, hits a couple of cars.
Yeah.
Has to like a 3-point back out of the parking spot he was in.
I'm amazed that thing runs. A lot of these I just assume were like broken down.
RV starts. That's the headline today.
Can I offer an unpopular opinion on this?
Sure.
I'm not 100% sure why these neighbors are complaining about this. Because it seems to me from the story that they made every effort to try to get these RV people who were allegedly doing drugs and bringing in a bad element. You heard when they finally detained the guy and they went in, he had a weapon in there. I imagine there's a good chance that weapon was not legally obtained. Selling drugs. They detail in the Seattle Times piece here. Greenwood Blevins, she's one of the neighbors the lady was tied up in her yard. She said she had often worried about the RVs that were parked on the streets surrounding the park. She's repeatedly complained to Seattle police and city officials about the vehicles where people appeared to buy drugs, then use those drugs in the park. Now you have bounty hunters coming in using non-lethal weapons, which could be scary to somebody who's not expecting to see them there.
Yeah,
they think they're real weapons, but they're not in this case. They're not lethal, at least.
Well, and
still scary.
Yeah.
Removing the situation that is plaguing your neighborhood. And your response is, according to Bevins, she says she never expected that one of the vehicles would attract this kind of chaos that she witnessed, nor that the bounty hunters would behave in the way without facing repercussions. She says she plans to file a complaint with the license department about the agent's conduct and has a meeting scheduled Tuesday with SPD representatives. Now, if I'm one of those neighbors, I'm probably also maybe not doing an interview because maybe in your neighborhood it's not popular, but I'd probably give a little attaboy to the folks who came in and risked their health and safety to get these drug dealers out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't share that. I think they were excessive.
You'd rather have the drug dealers?
No, God.
I'm not trying to dude, we're having fun.
I know, but you'd rather have drug dealers. That's really not.
If you had to have one of the two, bounty hunters come in or the drug dealers living in the RV selling drugs with weapons, you have to choose one of those two things.
I can't have a responsible number of bounty hunters come in, use appropriate and legal and required techniques to do so, not firing 9 guns in whatever direction. These projectiles flying in all kind of directions into different yards, could hit kids, then having an RV flee the scene, which could have run over kids. I'd rather have 3 bounty hunters show up, block the wheels of the vehicle. Put a block in front of an RV so he can't go speeding through the neighborhood.
Okay.
I mean, I think they used unprofessional and excessive tactics in obtaining. I'd, of course, rather have the perp detained than sell drugs in my neighborhood. Of course I would.
Sure.
But I don't think it's too much to ask that these guys do their job professionally, because they were supposed to be identified as bounty hunters. They weren't. Firing weapons all around the place that ended up into different yards in the area.
I watched the video. They are wearing stuff on their vests.
It says security. They're supposed to be by law say we are,
bail bondsman or
enforcement or whatever it is. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's nitpicky. I'll give you. I just think they could have been a little more professional in how they dealt with this.
I mean, I'm giving them a lot of latitude as a person
because they got the bad guy.
If you for months you got RVs parked in front of your yard or dealing drugs and doing bad things and attracting a very bad element, in the long run of things, if I had to choose one of those two things, I'd rather have the drug dealers out of there. But I agree with you. It would be better if they had not descended into chaos. But those are risky.
Zip tie a guy, lady and leave her in her backyard. No, I hear you.
I have no problem.
Not an easy job.
I have zero problem zip tying the lady in the yard.
Okay.
If she's a drug dealer with weapons, breaking the law, I don't care if she's zip tied in the yard to detain. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
The G and Ursula Show, weekdays 9 to noon.
I thought Target's apology was good. I'm starting off with the apology. Now I got questions. The question is, how did it happen? There's gotta be somebody, Target, in place to say, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't do that.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. You know that saying, save it for a rainy day? Do not do that when it comes to replacing your roof. The first fall storms, they're just around the corner, and contractor schedules are filling up fast. If a new roof has been on your to-do list, don't risk another wet fall and winter. Call Valentine Roofing now. With Valentine Roofing's priority scheduling, your new roof project can get started in as little as 3 weeks. In about an hour, you're going to get a fair estimate with honest upfront pricing before the seasonal demand picks up. Plus, every project includes the Valentine experience, which is seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and that extra mile service. I use Valentine, and thousands of homeowners across the Puget Sound trust Valentine Roofing as well to protect what matters most. With approved financing, there's no money down, and you won't pay until your new roof project is complete. Don't wait for that first leak. Call 206 Roofing today to get started within 3 weeks. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Have you ever really thought about what happens when you can no longer care for yourself?
If you're not prepared, it's like they just ship you off to a nursing home and you may not even have considered all the options that are available to you.
After retiring, Vic attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach at LifePoint Law, and it changed the way he planned for his future.
He talked about not running out of money, not being a burden to your family. Those are two kind of basic principles that are obviously important.
So what's Vic's advice?
You have to have a plan. You need a running start. You need to be able to understand the system. I would encourage people to consider getting educated. Rajiv has a lot of knowledge, a lot of practical experience that can be helpful.
Attend an upcoming seminar in Redmond, September 12th, Gig Harbor on the 15th, Olympia on the 17th, or Federal Way, September 19th. Reservations are free today, but space is limited. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is a very interesting study I saw that says, it was talking about how most people have probably heard that old axiom about marriage being good for your longevity. They're like, hey, married people live longer and they report, more, whatever.
Is it that they live longer? It just feels longer when you're married. Sorry, it's not my jokes.
I hadn't heard that, actually. That's funny. But no, I mean, like it really, man.
It adds to quality of life.
It can
accountability
really,
to a partner helps you make better long-term decisions, healthier decisions.
You know what I heard the other day, which was such a great phrase? It's about the person you marry. It says the person you marry is either a lid or a launch pad. Isn't that interesting?
That is. I've never heard that
It's either
before.
somebody who helps you achieve new things and inspires you to greater things, or puts a lid on your ambitions.
Wow.
Isn't that? And I don't know if that's a fair way to describe, but I feel like it's. I feel like it's kind of good.
I've never heard that terminology before. Being a lid isn't good, right? I mean,
well, yeah, obviously you don't want a lid.
Unless you're, maybe a lid in the good sense that you're always boiling over and going too far, and this person just kind of keeps you.
Yeah.
I was thinking
of
your growth potential.
Yeah, I was thinking of a rocket.
Yeah,
because you launch.
No, I get the launch pad part of it. I mean, I've never heard that. That's so. You're so wise.
You actually just made both positive. So rocket would be the launch pad, but the lid is like, it keeps you from boiling over.
From boiling over, yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. That's really great. All right, so but those are marriage related sayings. This actually study was looking at, are there benefits to being single? And new research suggests, according to this study, which was co-authored by Simon Fraser University professor, says that being single helps you in your something called the self-expansion theory. So you actually become a more, what is it? What how would you describe that? You just become a more, like a better, more well-rounded version of yourself, and that makes you
are capable of taking chances, trying new things, going off on a tangent.
Yeah.
In life. For example, when I moved here in the late 80s, I was single. I got an opportunity to go try something I had no training in and had no guarantee would ever be successful. It required moving across the country. I couldn't have done that if I was married with a kid.
Yeah, probably true.
I couldn't, no way.
Yeah.
So, all right, honey, pack up the bags, put a binky in her mouth. We're going to the West Coast.
Hop
to try
in the car.
something
We're
I've
going.
never done before.
Yeah.
No way.
It definitely becomes much harder. And then as your kids get older too, they got schools that they're tied in with and friends and all the stuff that kind of keeps you grounded, which is a very good thing too. I mean, I think the benefits of that are probably better than being single.
Well, the self-expansion is that you get to try numerous things until you find the right fit for you.
Yeah.
A lot of people get into their career early and they're locked in their career because they have responsibilities of being part of a family unit with additional responsibilities that come there, and you get stuck somewhere and you can't just jettison everything to try something new. And that's that variety of self-expansion is what allows you to make the mistakes required to find your true calling, if I can paraphrase.
Which then kind of, ironically, it kind of gets you to a position where you're now attractive enough that somebody might actually want to marry you.
Well, it's a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
And if you get the right launch pad, sky's the limit.
Exactly.
I love that saying.
This
Lid or
is
launch pad.
One of the
What'd you marry? Lid or launch pad?
No, that's
Text
not
us.
Let us know. One of the social psychologists on the study said, well, it is our findings also highlight the potential benefits of personal growth and expansion during solo activities. Do you do any solo activity? Do you do any stuff? Did you do stuff before you were married that you can no longer do now that you're married? And I don't mean in like a gross way.
No. I don't have to do it as often.
Okay, so I used to.
Oh my God, I love this job.
I used to go see movies all the time by myself.
By yourself? Okay.
I loved it.
Can you do that anymore?
No.
What? Have you asked?
Yes. Yeah.
Repeatedly.
My wife's like, what are you going to go see him 2 hours away by yourself? And I'm just watching the kids? Not happening.
You know, it's funny, and I guess maybe we've evolved to this as a couple, Melissa and I, that we will take vacations, and not intentionally, but like I'm going back east by myself.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to take a vacation in a couple weeks here. And I'm going back east to see my buddies and my roots and do the same stupid things I did as a teenager.
Oh,
sit on
like
the beach.
a guy's week.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But my wife says it's so important for me to get back to my roots and touch base with where I started from.
Yeah.
And kind of become regrounded.
That's nice.
And recharge. Yeah.
We call that a man trip in my house.
Nice.
I'm allowed one night a year. Where I go out with my buddies. I'm allowed one night a year.
You should go to a movie.
I should go to a movie. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
Former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes gives his first interview since he was forced to resign in the wake of the Bite of Seattle shooting, exclusively on the G and Ursula Show.
Did she give you any specific reasons?
No. When I went into the meeting, it was to listen, and what I heard was that I was going to be asked to resign and that a subsequent meeting was going to be held the following day, and then I turned things over to my attorney.
See the full conversation on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this! Multi-homer game, Cole Young!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Emerson is racing over, slides up! He makes the catch! Incredible!
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is!
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners' schedule is packed with divisional matchups down the stretch. Be here this week as the team takes on the A's, Thursday through Sunday, including Brian Woo's Mariners bobblehead debut Saturday, thanks to Lexus. Then the Rangers are in town for a 3-game showdown, September 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Welcome to IKEA.
What's with the wind?
Everyone's just been blown away by all the new products.
Wow, is that?
Yep, the Raskog card in a new red-brown color.
The price is amazing! And is that the Billy bookcase?
A classic, and it comes in a new beautiful blue.
Is my hair okay?
Explore hundreds of new products this season when you shop in-store or online at ikea.us/discover new. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about football. It's exciting when Seattle fans shake the earth. You can even feel that energy on your 100-inch variable refresh QLED surround sound 7.1. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know that enjoying the game often involves alcohol. And the police know it too. Have fun, be responsible on game day, and pace yourself. If you feel sacked in the fourth quarter, get a designated driver to take you to your end zone. If you get carried away with too many Bloody Marys after too many Hail Marys, call for a timeout. You get the point. Be safe. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. Watching the game in your blue and green jersey is a lot more fun than wearing an orange jumpsuit.
1-800-DUI-AWAY! Hey, Jake Skorheim here. You know the saying, save it for a rainy day? Don't do that when it comes to replacing your roof. The weather might be nice right now, but we know how fast the weather changes. Fall storms are just around the corner, and contractor schedules are filling up fast. If a new roof has been on your to-do list, don't risk another wet fall and winter. Call Valentine Roofing now. With Valentine's priority scheduling, your new roof project can get started in as little as 3 weeks. In about an hour, you'll get a fair estimate with honest, upfront pricing before the seasonal demand picks up. With approved financing, there's no money down, and you won't pay until your roofing project is complete. And when you call Valentine for your next project, you're going to get the same Valentine experience I did. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. Thousands of homeowners across the Puget Sound, like me, trust Valentine Roofing to protect what matters most. Don't wait for the first leak. Call 206 Roofing today to get started within 3 weeks. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red van, you know your home is in good hands.
The new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power, exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. military carried out new strikes today against Iranian targets. President Trump says in response for Iran's attempt to lay sea mines in the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Catherine Falder says the president is meeting with oil and gas company executives today, trying to find ways to ease higher gas and oil prices.
What that means by medium and long-term goals, we'll have to see. Obviously, that's something that the White House will continue to be asked about, and of course, President Trump as well. But it is something that he's going to have to continue to answer questions on, especially as we go into the midterm elections, when Americans obviously have prices on the mind, specifically gas prices in the economy.
House lawmakers in a bipartisan vote today approved a Senate-passed resolution to avert a government shutdown weeks in advance. It now heads to the president's desk for signature. Jurors in the Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts continued deliberations this hour, even after signaling to a judge they were at an impasse on finding a verdict. The judge telling them to keep trying. This is ABC News. A whistleblower sounding the alarm about the U.S. Postal Service's role for mail-in ballots.
The U.S. Postal Service may be on the verge of launching a, quote, rushed, chaotic, and fundamentally flawed system that could put mail-in voting at risk. That from an anonymous whistleblower in a statement released today by Connecticut Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal. That whistleblower says the system that's being built to follow President Trump's executive order on limiting mail-in voting would normally take a year's worth of work, but is being done in months. The order is being challenged in court. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Nearly 30 years after the fatal drive-by shooting of legendary rapper Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas, jurors returned a verdict last night after short deliberations, finding Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was guilty even though he did not pull the trigger. Keefe D. Davis announcing in court he plans to appeal. Apple's new CEO, John Ternus, beginning his first day overseeing the tech giant, taking over from Tim Cook, who was in that role for 15 years. Cook remains at Apple as the company's executive chair. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Seattle Schools Superintendent has scheduled a press conference later this afternoon as a teachers' strike looms. More on that coming up. But first, a quick check on the commute brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Got a couple big issues out there. We'll start you with our latest in Federal Way. South 5 just past State Route 18. Collision blocks at HOV bypass lane. So HOV drivers are merging over this Gore Point into the main line, and traffic is near a standstill at that point. The backup extends prior to State Route 18. And in Everett, westbound 2 to Homeacres, that left lane remains blocked from a spilled load of rocks and gravel. Traffic is jammed up to the 204 interchange. Westbound 204, you're backed up to 81st. That's a bumper-to-bumper backup. That's almost into Lake Stevens. Text APP to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Seattle Public Schools and Teachers Union are looking at a midnight deadline to strike a deal. Both sides are negotiating late into the night last night with a new mediator. Superintendent Ben Schildener has also been personally involved.
As the superintendent, you hope for the best and you plan for the worst. And that's why I wanted to make sure that the families knew that we were going to have food, that the nonprofits that do before care and after care, if they're able to do it.
A press conference is scheduled at 3 p.m. with the latest developments. We will bring you those updates as we get them here at KIRO News Radio. The Bellevue Police Department is ramping up enforcement this week as part of its 100 Safe Days of Summer campaign wrap-up. Officers are targeting speeding, noise, and distracted driving across the city after a sharp rise in violations. Here's Bellevue PD's Drew Anderson.
We have issued more than 49% more speeding citations compared to last year and over 112% more noise citations compared to last year.
Police say community complaints about loud cars and dangerous driving remain high, and proactive patrols will continue even after summer officially ends. Washington joins a lawsuit against Amazon, accusing it of secretly inflating the price of ads on its website. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglavin explains.
The FTC in 22 states allege Amazon used a deceptive auction, telling advertisers no matter how high their bid, it would be brought down to just a cent higher than the second highest bidder. But 80% of the time, they actually charged the full price of the winning bid. The FTC says Amazon likely made tens of billions of dollars from this practice.
Amazon responded in a statement denying the allegations, saying their model leads to better outcomes for sellers, shoppers, and advertisers. Well, a big gift from a big guy. Everett's Archbishop Murphy High School announces a 6-figure donation, the largest single donation in school history, from alumnus and Seahawk offensive tackle Abe Lucas.
Where were you the last time the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl?
I was in high school. I want to say I was a freshman going into sophomore year. Or like at the end of my freshman year, and I was at my aunt's house and we watched him kick the shit out of the Broncos, you know? So it was awesome.
Well, you're going to get a chance. He's going to go take a picture, and I'm going to get that back to you.
That's him. After the last NFC championship, Lucas graduated in 2017 and went on to play at Washington State University before being drafted by the Seahawks in 2022. The amount of the gift hasn't been disclosed, but it's enough to name the new campus wellness center after him. The KIRO News Radio weather forecast calls for some sunbreaks today, but overall mostly cloudy and 74. Tomorrow, a stormy Wednesday, windy and rainy conditions, high near 68. Thursday, isolated thunderstorms and 64. And Friday, partly sunny and 68. Mostly cloudy and 68 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. We got 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. We got a jam-packed show. Okay, a couple things we want to tease ahead. 1:30, we're going to do the question of the day responses. We got a lot of these. Great question of the day. You and I got into a fight earlier, like a friendly fight. We should start calling that friendly fire.
Okay.
We had a friendly fire segment, and you and I were disagreeing over whether or not teachers deserve to be paid enough to live where they work. Because that's what SPS is kind of saying. Like, hey, our teachers can't afford to live in Seattle. And you and I had a very spirited back and forth about that, which we posted to different social media and stuff. But we asked you guys, should teachers be able to negotiate their pay to include, to make sure that they can afford to live where they work? Is that fair? Then the other thing we asked, what was the other thing we asked?
Are they going to strike? Are they going to come to some conclusion before, or some agreement before midnight tonight?
Yes.
11:59 tonight.
You know what? I mean, there's a press conference that's scheduled for 3 o'clock, and when they announced the press conference, it sounded a little dubious. It sounded like, hey, this is a press conference to let you know to buckle up. That's what it sounded
exactly.
But we'll give you more details as we know them, but we would love your response to the question of the day, which we do every day at 1:30. 888-973-5476. 2 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss this at 2 o'clock. This is really cool. There's a company called Rainmaker.
What do they do?
They make rain, basically. Well, they don't make it, but they figure out how to milk it from the. Should we call it? Yeah, they milk it from the clouds, essentially. They just go up there.
Cloud milker wasn't available.
You can milk anything. And they go up there with a drone, and it just milks the cloud.
Oh, that's great.
And they got 19 million gallons of water over a period of 3 hours.
That's amazing.
On a most recent test, they say it's repeatable. They say it's science, and they use drones and stuff. Pretty cool. The guy's name is Augustus Dorico. He's the CEO of the company, and he's going to join us at 2 p.m. live, so don't miss any of that. All right. 1 o'clock here, top of the hour news. We do the 1 o'clock rundown, which is top stories coast to coast. We're going to start with a story that I'm not going to lie to you, purposefully avoiding like the plague. I'm not interested in it. It's so dark and it's so horrible. And that is the Lindsay Clancy trial that is happening right now.
Yeah. And it's been splashed across network news and all
it's
websites everywhere. It is.
And
America's fascinated with these kind of stories.
They are, and there's a lot. There's unfortunately a very dark history of a lot of these types of cases. But in this case, this is a mom who back in January of 2023, she killed her own kids. She had 3 children, and she did it in a very, doing it in any way is horrible. She chose the strangulation method, and it's just awful. The kids were, very young, and she then claims that it was postpartum, essentially.
Postpartum psychosis.
Yeah. Her kids were 5, 3, and 8 months old. And this is one of those stories that, as a parent, I just want to send to the other side of the moon, and I never even want to think about it. I don't want to think that these types of people exist. I don't want to think that these stories happen. I understand that they do, but it's one of those things where I'm not on the jury. I don't want to know about it. You know what I mean?
I hear you, but the reason, America becomes fascinated with these stories of mothers and who have taken the lives of their kids, and we've had too many to list for you.
Yeah, but
it's a question of her mental health with regard to her postpartum psychosis.
Yeah, that's what that's what they're arguing.
And they've got the reason we're talking about the story today, that it's back up top headlines in America, is because after the 4th day of deliberation, the jury tells the judge in the case, we cannot reach an unanimous decision.
Yeah. We essentially have a hung jury.
And the judge
They're in
said,
the deadlock right now, but if it's a hung jury, they would have to retry.
They have the option of declaring a mistrial and the option of retrying this woman. There's no requirement or guarantee that they will, but the option is still on the table.
Yeah.
The problem I've been reading this case, and I'm with you. I avoided this case like crazy. The problem is that both sides, the prosecution, which claims she acted in an intentionally, rationally, and swiftly acted to take the lives of her children.
Yeah.
Which shows clarity of thought, blah, blah, blah. There's an expert witness, though, who talks about the postpartum psychosis and how that can be all-consuming. Strong arguments were made from both the defense and the prosecution. That's why they've got these jurors deadlocked, because when people listen to what they believe to be expert testimony and rational explanations and logical conclusions,
it has an impact.
It's hard to change that person's mind in a jury room. So that we may never get resolution on this if she is found incompetent to stand criminal trial. Also, in this case, what makes it more difficult is the jury has these options of charging her with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, or manslaughter, because they weigh the evidence presented to them, and they get to decide what level of charges this case has met to get a unanimous conclusion with a criminal conviction of second or first-degree murder or manslaughter. So it's so many options, so much expert testimony on both sides of it. It seems like an impossible ask for a jury.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. It's tough as a parent to see a story like this and to see what she did to her children. It's tough to see that and to see past just the nightmarish thing that she did and to think that it's anything but guilty. Yeah. I understand. There is postpartum stuff that happens, and there's psychosis stuff that might happen. And I don't know if there's a cocktail of drugs that she might have been on. I don't know all the details.
Sure.
But it would, I'm sure there are compelling arguments on both sides. But that is so far over a line that you just go like, how is it possible that you have a jury that doesn't say, lock this lady up?
Well, but to me, though, you're making the argument for the defense, because it is so unfathomable that someone could do that. How could they possibly be in their right mind?
Yeah, I know. And that's probably part of the reason why so many people are tuning in to watch this, because there is this morbid fascination that happens with this. Yeah. There's a part of this that's so dark, too. And we haven't talked about this either, although I have seen it on the news. There are, I don't know if you would describe them as fans or what, but it's almost like that Luigi Mangione weird people that show up for his trials. You have all these women who are showing up outside this Clancy trial, supporting her in a way that I'm like, guys, what are you doing?
Well, let me offer the other side for you. There are so many women who have struggled with postpartum depression in various degrees, not to the point of postpartum psychosis, which is a very rare, but a clinically diagnosed condition. These people have all been put themselves in her shoes to a degree. I mean, I guess that's where. How else would you be in support of someone who has committed such a heinous crime? I mean, I think it's different than Mangione, because those people were just people who support the Mangione kid are just angry at the healthcare system, and they see him as some poster boy for pushing back on the healthcare system.
The Mangione stuff is nuts, and the people who support him are nuts.
Yeah.
As I think there's a lot of crossover for the people who are supporting this lady. I think there's just this is my opinion, obviously, but I do think there's a lot of people who are showing up to that with a darkness that I don't understand, which is why I've been avoiding the story.
Yeah. Well, it's so
the darkness of it,
heartbreaking and gut-wrenching.
The whole thing is it's too much for words.
Well, whichever way this jury decides, and whether or not she's retried after a mistrial or not, if she isn't criminally convicted on one of these 3 charges, she will probably spend the rest of her life in mental health care. She
better
one way or the other.
Yeah, I would hope so. I'd be horrible on a jury like this. I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to pay attention because of the details. It would be so dark. I wouldn't want to put my. This is why
you have to go to a dark place to put yourself in the mind of this person. Yeah,
which is why I respect law enforcement so much, because they have to deal with all this stuff before it even gets to a jury. Or prosecutors. They have to get inside the minds of a psychopath to try to figure out, to solve these cases, or to figure out how to prosecute these cases.
Yeah.
Think about police detectives, or just your average run-of-the-mill beat cop.
Yeah,
who has to respond to 911 calls at any given hour.
But they, I think, and I'm only assuming, they must go to a place where they know there's a responsibility and a civic duty to get this right.
Well, I hope so.
That's the only way to try. Of course they do, but that's.
Yeah.
I mean, you say, how can somebody even sit in a jury like this? I've got a great responsibility here. The only way this system and this culture works is if we all step up and do what we're supposed to do when asked. And sometimes the ask is very difficult. Can't imagine anything more difficult than this.
I can't even imagine. And there's just too many cases. I was doing some searches on what are some similar cases, and that list is long.
Yeah, it is.
You remember the Andrea Yates lady?
Yeah.
Who ended up, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity, and she's now in a high security state mental hospital, and who knows, maybe that's what's in store for Clancy, but just one of the worst stories you could possibly hear. But it's it's top of the hour rundown.
Yeah, let's turn the page to something much more. It's a tragic situation, but also a ray of hope. The Airbnb story. Airbnb is offering free stays to people who were displaced by these wildfires.
Yeah, 4,800 nights, free accommodations to residents displaced by wildfires. Airbnb has, obviously it's a big, giant company that is trying to make money.
It's global.
But they also have, a, what is this? This is the nonprofit arm of their organization called Airbnb.org. And they offer free emergency housing to people affected by these wildfires, which is a lot of folks. And, pretty amazing that they're able to do that. How does that work? I guess they would let people book the rooms through Airbnb, and then Airbnb would compensate the individual homeowners.
You got it. You nailed it. And they run it through their nonprofit or their community service or charitable organization wing of theirs, because they're a multi-billion-dollar international company.
Huge.
They're like the face of short-term rentals, privately owned short-term rental organizations. I mean, they advertise everywhere. And one of the ways that I try not to be cynical these days. We can get a corporation this big, being philanthropic while it's benevolent and wonderful and it comes from a good place. It's also a pretty savvy business decision to help you write off a lot of your profit margin and avoid taxation by doing charitable work. I got no problem with any of those realities of this, but it's good PR for them.
Yeah,
it's
a win-win.
It's a total win-win.
It helps people who are displaced. It helps the company. And there's no way in turn are able to help more people displaced.
Yeah, and there's also hotels that are also receiving federal. Part of the time when federal aid comes in to help survivors of natural disasters like floods or wildfires, part of that money goes to compensate empty hotel rooms, which are then filled with people that are just displaced by these tragedies. And Airbnb stepping up and doing the same thing on their end. It's pretty cool. It's a great story.
All right, here's another story that's interesting. And I think, actually, this is going to inspire a show competition.
Sounded like it in the pre-show meeting today, buddy.
No,
a lot of bragging going on.
I'm excited about this.
I'm just saying, as I look to my left and I look to my right, a lot of people think they're pretty good at what we're talking about here.
Yes. This is in Portland, down Portland way. There apparently was a competition in a southeast Portland neighborhood. This is on Sunday. And what they did was they invited people who felt like they were talented at parallel parking.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we'll let you compete, but you're going to have to do it inside these, inside the cones.
Well, yeah, there's a set course, which is a one coned off parking space.
And you have a live audience who are going to sit there.
Hundreds and hundreds watching.
Would you go to something like this?
Of course I would. You know what?
This is a great idea.
This is a great idea. It's the second annual Portland parallel parking competition.
So smart.
It's funny because there's a skill set for parallel parking. It's math, it's geometry, it's physics, it's all these things.
Yeah.
And it's time
For
practice.
me, it's all about feel, man. None of
Is
it's
it a feel? Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's all about angles and vision for me. It's a math equation for me.
Which is smart. Yeah.
But Laura was bragging during the pre-show that she could beat either one of us parallel parking, which
Easy.
I
Do you
love
really
the
think you
confidence.
Oh, 1,000%.
I love the confidence.
I'm the best parallel parker in my entire family. I often people will get out of the car to let me parallel park
watch you
for
parallel
them.
park.
to take the wheel. Laura, would you
I'll take the wheel.
Yeah.
Jesus take the wheel? No.
Laura take the wheel.
Laura take the wheel.
Really?
I'm
It's
really
funny.
so good. I've photographed and I have photographic evidence of how close within inches I can get. And I think it's because I grew up parking in downtown Seattle.
Yeah. Where
In a
parking
rush.
is limited.
Trained
Yeah.
under fire, as they say.
And you got people coming up behind you and they're honking and they're hasty.
Yeah. I'm anytime someone comes up behind me, it doesn't get in my head at all because I know I'm going to be out of their way in 15 seconds.
Let me ask you guys this question then. Maybe this week at some point, can we do a little competition? And I think here would be my rules. I don't think it's fair for us to use our individual vehicles. I think we all need to be operating on that because I have a bigger vehicle than Laura does, and Laura has a different size vehicle than you do, Spike.
Yeah.
So I think
you always have to have the same set of same cars. It makes sense.
Yeah. So
otherwise, we got to give you a foot and a half on each. Measure the length of your vehicle.
Yeah.
And make your space a foot and a half bigger
Well,
on
it
each
also
side.
it tests our natural instincts because you get very
get used to your car.
and you have
Yeah.
a sense of your car's dimensions.
Totally, and that's not fair.
No.
This needs to be like gut instinct.
Clean slate, raw
like an
skill.
athlete who can walk up to any soccer ball and just
right.
You know what I
They
mean?
don't bring their own ball. Kickers bring their own ball though in the NFL. That seems kind of weird.
I know they do.
But
and quarterbacks have their own kind of balls. We've learned from Deflategate.
we should definitely do this. We should film this and share it with the audience.
Do you think you would win?
I know I would win. I'm not only the best parker in my family, I'm also the best parker, ironically, in Laura's family.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they'd be so good.
You also during the pre-show you were very confident.
I'm kind of giving into your guys' confidence, though. I'm making some room for you guys now because you guys are very confident.
Well, I think that's what makes this a competition in Portland so fun for people to watch and participate in because you watch people go in thinking I'm going to let hundreds of people watch me parallel park and I'm going to dominate, and they totally fail.
Let me read to you. Seattle Times did a little breakdown of how this works, and maybe we can pull from some of these rules, and then we can decide which ones we want to adopt as our own. They say 80 cars competed during the 5-hour event. Obviously, ours would not be 5 hours. With drivers attempting to reverse into a space between two parked vehicles. I think in our case, we should probably use cones just to protect the other vehicles in case one of us is horrible.
Our boss has got this real hang up on liability.
Exactly. Entries range from older rear-wheel drive compact pickups to a tiny British roadster whose small size and open cockpit made backing into the space nearly as easy as driving forward. Backup cameras are forbidden.
Sure.
Okay. Pool noodles protected the bumpers of the parked cars. We don't need that. We're adults. Touching either vehicle meant disqualification, something that happened often. Yeah, back in the old day, you would kind of nudge your way in between cars because everybody had a metal bumper.
That's what bumpers are for.
Yeah. But they don't have bumpers anymore. Cars don't have bumpers.
No, they got plastic shells that cost a ton to replace or repair.
They just got it's like an instantly cracking plastic.
Yeah,
and they just go.
It's built that way. It's built that way.
They do.
Oh yeah.
Every car's made of China now, and they just crack instantly, and it's replaceable, and you can't work on it. Otherwise, it's going to be they're going to void your warranty.
So did you see that the record this year's winner? What they said? It's 16 seconds it took him to parallel park. So it's a timed event?
So it's timed, and it's also distance from the curb.
Okay, yeah, well, that's
important.
Sure. Yeah.
And also, you want to be equidistant from the front and rear cones, I assume? You don't want to be too heavy on your back cone or you're too heavy on your front cone?
That seems like a fair ask, yeah.
So are those the rules that we're sticking with? It's time plus distance to the curb plus distance.
Spacing.
Space in front and back equals winner.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. How too close to the curb is what? 6?
Yeah. And lowest score. We want lowest score wins.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
I like it. I can agree to these rules.
Do you agree to this?
I agree to these rules.
Spike, do you agree?
I'm in.
Okay, I agree to these rules. We will do this. and hopefully we will have
coordinate with the video team downstairs.
Yeah.
Have somebody film it for us.
Can
Maybe
we
have them
place
throw some
polymarket
music under it?
bets?
Not in this thing.
We can now.
Can. We can't.
We
I
can
think we
now.
can. We're back. That's right.
I think that lawsuit got dropped, actually. I think that might still be legal in this state now.
Did you pass your driving test when you? Because do they still make parallel parking a requirement of? I think it still is a course requirement to obtain your license in
Here's
Washington
the thing.
State.
I got to.
Sully, if you're listening from the gym, text in.
They must.
They must.
They must. Although in a lot of new cars, you just hit a button and it parks for you, which is not fair.
Right? Self-parking cars?
I got 100% on my driving test with a stick shift.
Attaboy.
Take that.
How'd you learn to drive?
Well.
I mean, driver's ed?
Oh, no, my dad.
Your dad taught you?
Yeah. No, I mean, like,
you took a course.
I took
but
a
your old
driver's
man
ed
took
course,
it?
but for like 2 years before driver's ed started, my parents have pretty good sized property.
Yeah.
So they let me drive around.
Nice.
I just got to drive around on the property.
That's perfect. Laura, who taught you to drive?
My grandpa. I also did
that's
driver's
lovely.
ed
Yeah. There
you go.
with Mr. Brown in Seattle, who taught many, many Seattle students.
Stick shift or no?
No, not stick shift.
Not stick
Every
shift.
kid should learn on a stick shift.
But
I
I
agree.
will say I've never, ever in my life had a backup camera.
Okay. They're pretty great.
They're pretty great.
They're pretty great.
Hey, listen, when I'm in a rental car, I don't hate it.
Yeah,
my brother taught me how to drive by taking me out at last call
Oh, there you go.
and driving till 6 in the morning.
Really?
The whole city was a closed course. We did it all. Highways, on-ramps, off-ramps, parallel parking, uphill, downhill, stick,
That's
everything.
the best.
Everything. By sunrise, I was comfortable as heck.
And you knew what to do.
I knew what to do.
All right.
City was mine.
This will be a fun competition. We will do it soon. That's great. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Question of the day coming up next. Should teachers be able to work and live in the same area? Should they be paid accordingly? Also, do you think they're going to strike? We'll talk about that next. Stick around.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from The G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you remember listening to this, and this, and this, then remember this. COVID hasn't gone away. And if you're an adult with conditions like diabetes, asthma, or heart disease, it can cause serious setbacks. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about the latest COVID vaccine. It's one of the best ways to help protect yourself. Find out more at PfizerForAll.com. Pfizer. Outdo yesterday.
Thinking about a new roof or exterior upgrade, but worried about the cost? This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We've created our summertime savings event to make it simple and affordable. Save up to $3,000 off your exterior project or get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. And every qualifying GAF roof is backed by our lifetime Golden Pledge warranty. One call gets you started. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
What if the retirement plan you think you have isn't enough? Marshall and Ellen thought they were prepared.
We certainly thought we had all documents. We'd done the wills and the power of attorney and all that stuff.
Then they attended a seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayich at Life Point Law.
The bigger parts of how that all plays out was definitely helpful.
Life Point Law showed them what they were missing.
There were things we never thought of that made total sense once they were brought up. To have things planned so that your family isn't left with a mess or having to deal with things that they don't know anything about.
So what's their advice?
People wait too long. Get started, figure out what you want to do. Don't wait too long. Make those decisions and look at all your options.
Attend an upcoming seminar in Redmond, September 12th, Gig Harbor on the 15th, Olympia on the 17th, or Federal Way, September 19th. Reservations are free today, but space is limited. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital LLC and MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Hey there, Dawn Riling with Olympic Hot Tub. Our Labor Day financing event is here, and you do not want to miss it. You'll not only get savings on your new tub, you'll also get to take advantage of interest-free financing for 5 years. Summer is nearly over. Make sure you're ready to take a soak every night in the warm, soothing water of a hot spring spa. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
The new SR 167 Expressway opens soon and will be toll-free till winter. It's the shortcut between I-5 and SR 509 near Fife, so drivers can avoid congestion and freight trucks can deliver direct to the port. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Federal agents are investigating our state in search of voter fraud. The Department of Homeland Security is launching a surge of criminal investigations here and in 8 other states, deploying agents to pursue potential fraud ahead of the midterms. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs tells KIRO Radio's G and Ursula.
I'm pretty angry, to tell you the truth. I mean, I was on your show, just a couple weeks ago, and it's like, I thought this was over, and it's not, and we just keep on getting monkey wrenches thrown at our face.
DHS spokesperson says the agency does not comment on active investigations, but it does say investigators have found undocumented immigrants have illegally cast ballots in the past. Hobbs says voter fraud and non-citizen voting is extremely rare. For the closing bell report, stocks fell broadly amid another wave of military strikes on Iran, which sent oil prices higher once again. Dow lost nearly 420 points, NASDAQ down 271 or 1%, and S&P 500 off 54 points. ABC's Michelle Franzen says investors are also nervously watching economic signs ahead of the next Fed meeting this month.
A Labor Department reported that employers added more jobs in July while layoffs fell, along with the number of people quitting their jobs.
Tariff-free beef is headed into the U.S. starting today. President Trump says this is a temporary 90-day move that should help lower food prices for shoppers. But ranchers are pushing back. They argue cheaper imports could make it harder to rebuild the nation's shrinking cattle herd. Jack Field is executive director of the Washington Cattle Feeders Association.
We want to empower our industry here right at home and make sure that we've got opportunities for our local producers to grow and expand and continue to provide that high-quality beef.
He says the policy could add pressure to domestic producers already facing high costs and limited supply. Nearly 240 casino workers in Tukwila are about to be out of a job. Kirkland-based Maverick Gaming says it is closing both the Great American Casino and the Riverside Casino on November 1st. Those are both located on Interurban Avenue. The company filed layoff notices with the state just yesterday. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 1:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Thank you, Aaron. 1-800-DUI-AWAY has our update. Up in Everett, we cleared that debris westbound 2 at Homemakers, so the trestle's cleared out, but getting there on 204 and Highway 2, you're still struggling a bit getting to the trestle. In Renton, South 405 and Northeast 44th, a new collision blocks your left general purpose lane. This is right at the off-ramp. You're backed up into Factoria. Federal Way, we cleared our crash South 5 just past State Route 18 to your left shoulder. Traffic still jams up at the scene here, but now westbound 18 at Warehouser Way, we have a new collision blocking all westbound lanes, and right now we're bumper to bumper to the Valley Freeway. Here in Seattle, South 5, you're slow from the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. North 5 slows briefly at the I-90 interchange. Then you'll jam up again between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge. And northbound 167 is heavy from 180th up to 405. Serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years with hundreds of 5-star reviews, 1-800-DUIAWAY.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
So your forecast now, we will see clouds build this afternoon with a few light showers tonight, increasing rain and wind tomorrow with highs in the upper 60s. Right now, 70 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Boy, everybody's talking about that potential teacher strike in Seattle. Even if you don't have kids in the Seattle public school system, you're kind of watching this from the outskirts like I am, going like, man, I feel bad for those parents.
Maybe you got to cover for a coworker who can't make it to work this week because their kids aren't in school. It affects so many people.
So many people, and you're just sitting there going like, also, teacher strikes are illegal in Washington. Why do they keep putting up with this nonsense? Like when my kids do dumb things, we try to correct that behavior. Otherwise, they keep doing those things. I'm not saying that they need to have their butts swat, but you know what I mean? Like maybe a little timeout. Maybe a little timeout.
A little time in the corner.
Maybe a little timeout. Maybe you cut their allowance. All right, we asked you guys a couple of questions of the day, which is the segment we're in right now. We said, hey, should teachers be paid enough to live where they work? Which is one of the big contentions that they're negotiating right now. They're saying they need increased pay because it's expensive in Seattle. And we got a lot of responses on that. And then the other question was, do you guys think a teacher strike is going to happen? This would be tomorrow that it would happen. They have until, I think the current contract expires at midnight tonight.
11:59, yeah.
11:59.
The minute it rolls over to the 2nd of September, that contract is off the table.
Okay. So we asked you guys if you think they're going to go on strike. So we will get to as many of these as we can. Let's just fire away. Spike, go for it.
Should teachers be paid enough to live where they work? Joel in Big Lake says, regarding your question of the day, maybe someone should have asked that of former police chief Sean Barnes.
That's pretty funny.
Well, he pushed back on that yesterday. I wasn't out of town. It was crazy. Ooh, I wasn't out of town.
Pretty hilarious. Amy says, a lot of people can't afford to live where they work. That is not reasonable. Thank you, Amy.
Kevin in Black Diamond says, I work in Seattle and live all the way out in Black Diamond. There's no way I can afford to buy a house that I have in Seattle. Just because you work in Seattle doesn't mean you automatically are entitled to live in Seattle.
The other thing that's unique about Seattle is a uniquely expensive city as well. So the expectation that you should be able to live. I mean, King County is one of the most expensive counties to own a home in the United States. Mm-hmm. So it's just, it seems unreasonable to be. Anyway, Bill in Marysville says, can you imagine a neighborhood of tiny houses for teachers? Problem solved. That would be interesting.
Well, I've got some examples of cities around the country from red states and blue states that help teachers, that offer affordable housing for teachers, part of a publicly subsidized program that allows teachers to live closer to their communities that they teach in.
Interesting.
Chris in T-Town says nobody should be expected to drive an hour to and from work.
509 says no, they can commute just like everybody else. There's no need for them to live in the city.
Greg from Salties, you're not convincing me today, Jake. I think teachers living in the same community as the kids they're teaching is a good concept. I think maybe you just don't like public sector employees.
That's not true, Greg. Absolutely not true. I love public sector employees if they're doing a good job. I just don't love that they're holding kids hostage to try to get the money and that they're threatening an illegal strike in order to do that. Doc in Shoreline says, ask Jake if he wants a police officer to live in the community that he polices. Doc, great question. I don't require it. No. In fact, I live next door to somebody who's a cop in a more expensive city, and he lives right next to me up in Snohomish County. So I don't have a problem at all with police officers living outside the communities. In fact, you should talk to Sean Barnes. See earlier question about Sean Barnes, about that very thing.
It's Marty in Crossroads says, I taught elementary school for Bellevue. I had a tiny little affordable condo about 2 miles from school. The younger teachers who couldn't afford the area dragged in, exhausted after an hour in the car. Also, if you live in the same community as your students and families, it's easier to make meaningful connections that can enhance learning in the classroom.
Here's what I'd say to Marty. I understand what you're saying. It would be great if you were able to live. So for instance, should every teacher who teaches on Mercer Island be able to afford to live in Mercer Island? Or would that be an unreasonable request? That to me would seem kind of unreasonable. Those are some of the most expensive houses in the nation. And so it doesn't hold up for me.
Elaine in Seattle says, I worked for Mercer Island schools for over 30 years and never had any illusions that I could buy property there.
There you go. And you know what? It doesn't mean you still can't be part of the community. I mean, like I have a bunch of teachers that I love in my kids' school district. They don't live in my kids' school district. They commute in. And we still love them. And we still have great schools. 937 says, I think you should be able to live where you work if you want to. And they can, obviously, 937. If you want to and you want to make it happen, you'll figure out a way to make it happen.
So
if you can't, require taxpayers to foot the bill.
In San Francisco, California, they've got a affordable housing program dedicated to renting to teachers.
Sure.
Same thing in San Diego, Austin, Texas, Chino Valley, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
There's a national HUD program called Good Neighbors Next Door, where teachers, qualified teachers, are given a 50% discount on homes in revitalized areas that are benefit just for teachers to be in that community. Oftentimes, there's closed school buildings are retrofitted to living spaces that are available only to teachers.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, the idea that teachers, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's not unreasonable, your point of view. My point of view, maybe it's untenable from a financial perspective. I'm just saying, if teachers can be close to where they work, there's benefits all over the place.
Let me ask you this.
People seem to agree.
Let me ask you this. If teachers get subsidized housing, can we pay them half as much?
If they... Half as much? No.
Yep.
Why would you do that? Come on.
Half as much.
I mean,
you're getting half the cost of housing. Can we give you half as much in pay?
If you don't go for the housing?
If you don't go for the housing, you can have the full pay.
Yeah, that's sure.
Okay. Interesting. On the teacher strike, do you think it's going to happen? Mike and Bothos says, Spike, if you can handle the show on your own while Jake goes and works as a scab in the Seattle School District, we'll have made some progress. Oh, that's so nice, Mike.
Justin in Marysville, don't try it. Don't try it.
No,
Justin in Marysville says there are 5,000 scabs. Easy. They're called substitute teachers, and we end up paying more for them anyway.
We end up paying for them anyway.
We pay for them when all the teachers use their sick days twice a month, aka flu season, September through May.
Andrea in Linwood says, my daughter works as a child care worker for a large organization. Knowing the behavioral issues she has dealt with over the years and summers, I can only imagine what teachers deal with day in, day out. If their day was broken down by every little issue or task that they do in a long day, with the time on and off the clock of grading papers or preparing their teacher's plan for the next week, their pay probably averages out to be much smaller amount an hour. It'd probably be such a small amount an hour that none of us would accept it if we were offered the job. Andrea, you should read for sure Ben Schuldner's, he's a Seattle Public School District's superintendent, breakdown of exactly how that works. When he was coming up, because he was a teacher before he was an administrator, he says when he was coming up, outside the classroom time, lesson planning, all of that was expected to happen, and you did not get extra pay for that. Seattle teachers have 27 outside of the classroom days worth of pay built in to their pay structure so that they get to do all of those things that you just referenced. It's in the paycheck, and it's guaranteed. There's no verifying how the work was done or how much time they're spending doing it. They get 27 extra days to do that built into their paycheck. And it takes their pay up from $118,000 up to $143,000 a year. That's before any of these bonuses that we're talking about. And that's before retirement benefits. That's before the raise that they're asking for the school district in this new contract. So thank you, Andrea. Good question.
So real quick, do you think it's safe to say teachers work 50 hours a week? Think it's safe to say?
I have no idea how much teachers work a week.
I don't know. How many hours a week do you think a teacher works?
80.
80 hours a week?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say 50 is a reason. Maybe 60.
What number do you have?
If a teacher makes $147 a year and works 50 hours a week,
okay,
it's $56 an hour. Roughly.
Okay, but how many hours are you assuming they're working through the summers?
Yeah.
Do they get summers off? Are you subtracting that?
I'm not.
Well, you should.
Okay.
It's like 3 months where they're not doing anything. You're getting paid for it.
I still don't think that's. I don't think that's an accurate description of teachers. They don't have 3
teachers
months.
work summers.
They don't.
Breaking news. Okay. They don't work summers. That's like one of the best perks of the job.
They don't have 3 months off.
They don't?
No, they don't.
Schuldner said yesterday they work 180 days a year. Was he wrong?
Those are school days.
Do they not have summers off?
They have school. No. They don't have 3 months.
I have drastically undervalued teachers. I did not realize that they were working 12 months a year.
That's not what I said either.
Saints.
So they don't have 3 months off.
Saints. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Feeding time's coming up next. It's going to be fun. Stick around.
The G and Ursula Show, weekdays 9 to noon.
This is Dan Houston, son playing in his first Little League World Series.
So tell us how you felt. It was so fun just to be literally representing our state and our community and yelling as loud as we can. Guys, this is what a time.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Watch live or later on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Spike O'Neill for Aegis Living. If your family is at a place in time where you have started to consider assisted living or memory care for yourself or a loved one, do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Check out the folks at Aegis Living. Go to aegisliving.com/Spike and book a visit today. Go take a look at what they're doing over there at Aegis Living. Voted #1 senior living community in all of America in 2025. That's over 500,000 reviews of 60,000 communities nationwide from Seniorly Magazine. They know what they're talking about. #1 in the country. Of course, best of Western Washington. We're talking about chef-prepared meals, resort-style amenities, a level of care most living providers can only dream of. agesliving.com/Spike. Take a visit today.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Did you see what Olympia is calling their latest new tax?
The millionaire's tax? Yep.
You know it's really an income tax.
So what's the difference?
A millionaire's tax doesn't sound like it applies to you, but it does. Olympia created the income tax and refused to limit it. They left the door open to tax everyone, including you.
So what do we do?
Vote yes on Initiative 645. It repeals the income tax completely, so Olympia can't expand it and get into your paycheck.
Wait, we're repealing an income tax?
Yes, we're repealing an income tax.
And we vote yes to repeal it?
Yes. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Okay. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Well, see, they picked that name on purpose. Tell your friends vote yes on Initiative 645. Let's repeal the income tax. Visit voteyes645.com for more information. Paid for by Vote Yes, Repeal the Income Tax. Top 5 contributors, BIAW Member Services Corp., Peter and Liz Moorkill, Catalan Solutions, Inc., Steve Gordon.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Golden Crest Metals helps investors understand how physical gold and silver can be held inside qualified retirement accounts without pressure or confusion. Our team brings decades of experience in precious metals and retirement planning with a focus on clear education, straightforward pricing, and a process designed to put clients first. Why do investors choose Golden Crest Metals? Experience, transparency, and a client-first approach. Tune into The Gold Show with Kenny Michaels every Saturday at 1 p.m.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
The new SR 167 Expressway is opening soon.
Sweet.
It'll be the shortcut between I-5 and SR 509 near Fife.
A shortcut.
Yep, 2 miles of open expressway. Drivers can take it to avoid congestion on other roads, and freight trucks can take it directly to the Port of Tacoma. When tolling begins this winter, drivers with a good-to-go pass will pay $1.
Oh, $1?
That's right. And to make sure everyone's ready, sticker passes are available right now at no cost. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Giving your liver a cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC. Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. Looking for a big selection of big trees? Visit Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly.
Restore your bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning hair with the simple one-day treatment that I received from Advanced Hair. Your own natural hair begins regrowing the very next day, and your new hair is even backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I've experienced Advanced Hair's standard of care. Your comfort, your results are their top priority. For your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com. All
right, welcome back to the show. It is feeding time. We get to look at our social media feeds, see what we are being fed. Spike, what's in your socials right now?
Well, I thought we were skipping to the two we decided on two because mine are just polluted.
Is yours
mine are voting?
Oh, is it really?
Post office. Okay. I'm trying. I've been watching kitties, but they're all AI.
Gotcha.
I like these 8 foot tall dogs hugging babies. I can't bring that to the table.
No.
We looked at it last week and I was heartbroken.
Let me present this one to you then, because it's a pretty good one. There is a deli on Staten Island. You've been to Staten Island, right? You're an East Coast guy.
I've never been to Staten Island. I've been to Brooklyn. I've been to Queens. I've been to Manhattan.
Yeah. Okay.
Those the only boroughs I've been to.
But Staten Island's definitely like got its own kind of thing going on.
It's got a reputation.
Yeah. I did not know that reputation was such kind deli owners. This is really cool. ABC News caught up with this deli owner, whose name is, I'm going to butcher this name. Wael Al-Selwi.
Yeah, you nailed it. Look at you.
He owns ABC Bodega in Staten Island, and he has started to make a habit out of
ABC is the news organization that did the report.
He owns a deli on Staten Island. Maybe it's called ABC. We don't know.
It'd be cute. It would work with the whole kids thing.
It would, actually. So what he does is kids in the neighborhood can come in and they can give him progress reports and report cards. And if they do, he lets them go in the store and pick out like a piece of candy or a bag of chips or something like that. And for bigger achievements, he offers even cash. And this is caught on. He has now started doing a social media page on this where he asks people from outside of Staten Island, if you guys want to donate, as I kind of encourage these kids to do good, please donate. And he's getting a ton of donations.
This is an amazing. I can't believe this is the kind of stuff I want my feed to be full of. This is fantastic.
This is listen to this. This is pretty cool.
Let's see my report card.
You may remember our story last year at this bodega on New York's Staten Island.
I want to show you my report card.
Where a report card might get you more food than a credit card.
How many kids do you think you've helped now since then?
Oh my God. Thousands.
Since 2023, manager Wael Al-Selwi has been rewarding good grades with cash prizes and free reign to pick anything from the store. And it's not just about showing an A+.
If you're failing, we want to push you to do better. You don't have to get to a 98 plus average. No, all you got to do just pass all your classes, improve, and then we'll give you $100 for improvement.
From a 68 to a 94.
Thank you.
And he hands the kid a $100 bill. And the kid's like, what?
Man, I'm proud of you, bro.
With Wales' encouragement, students like Xavier here have improved their grades dramatically, while this Grades for Grabs program has also grown in popularity. Wales says now students from all over the country come into the store, and the GoFundMe that makes this possible has risen from $70,000 last summer to now more than $500,000. But this past week, Wales decided to also use his growing platform to get out ahead of the school year, too, asking his more than 1 million followers on TikTok to help him give away school supplies to at least 3,000 students for the upcoming school year.
First day I got like 7 boxes, and then up to 15 to 25 a day. One day I had 65 boxes in one day.
There were lines wrapped around the block last Tuesday, and Wales says he donated some of the supplies to local teachers who came into the store as well.
They just want to do good. They just need that help, and I'm glad that I can help.
It's a pretty cool story. It reminds me, back in the day, there was a story about a lady who was a bus monitor. You remember that? It was one of the early viral stories online. Like on social media.
Okay.
She was a bus monitor who was being bullied by kids on the bus. Do you remember that?
I do remember this.
And it was like in the early days of the GoFundMe stuff, and somebody started GoFundMe for her, and the GoFundMe ended up like going past, I think she made over $1 million or something crazy.
Right, yeah. They were, her physical appearance, the kids were being just bullying her.
They were just being horrible, just very mean.
Yeah.
And Dory said at the time, he goes, there's no off switch on the internet. And it works in both good and bad cases. Like in that case, a lot of people wanted to donate, and that's a nice thing. In this case, this guy, 64 boxes of goods that he's getting per day in the mail from people all around the country, probably the world, who want to, help donate to these little kids, and that's pretty neat.
There's a video of the storeroom he had to open for all the supplies that donations have brought into his shop.
I bet.
And the line down the block.
Yeah, if kids waiting to come on in.
Yeah.
And I bet you he's doing more business now as a guy who's handing out stuff than he ever was for his deli. It's pretty neat.
Oh my gosh!
What's his?
I just checked his GoFundMe.
What's it up to?
$570,000.
Jeez Louise.
In his GoFundMe.
That's crazy. Very interesting stuff. Pretty cool feeding time. All right. Next, when we come back, we are going to talk with Augustus Dorico. He is the founder and CEO of a company called Rainmaker, who do just that. And we will talk with him next. He's going to be live on the show. So stick around. Be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome to IKEA!
What's with the wind?
Everyone's just been blown away by all the new products.
Wow, is that?
Yep, the Rascog card in a new red-brown color.
The price is amazing! And is that the Billy bookcase?
A classic, and it comes in a new beautiful blue.
Is my hair okay?
Explore hundreds of new products this season when you shop in-store or online at ikea.us/discover new. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Jason Rance here with Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are a ton of national advertisers offering services similar to yours. Why shouldn't I go with one of them?
National firms are an interesting phenomena, if you will, because I hear from clients that tried them initially, and they tell me these stories that are just really hard to believe, Jason. They'll call, and the person that they're talking to is really a salesperson. They don't really know the tax resolution business at all. They're trying to make a sale. And so they overpromise, and they'll hook them with a very low initial fee. Then when that case starts moving down the road, all of a sudden the person's getting a phone call. Oh, you need to pay us thousands of dollars to get this thing done. And they tell me sometimes it never gets done.
So it's a tax resolution scheme without any of the resolution.
I really believe part of it is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with None Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
The new SR 167 Expressway opens soon and will be toll-free till winter. It's the shortcut between I-5 and SR 509 near Fife, so drivers can avoid congestion and freight trucks can deliver direct to the port. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. The Mariners are squaring off against the Rangers in a high-stakes divisional showdown, September 8th through 10th. And at each game, the first 10,000 fans score an Andres Munoz Funko Pop collectible. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Escalations in the Middle East with the U.S. launching fresh military strikes on Iranian targets near the Strait of Hormuz. Iran says it's already retaliating for those strikes. More from ABC's Louis Martinez.
Kind of a sustained operation to indicate purpose. Proportionality is something that we talk about with regards to how the U.S. military and other militaries respond in response to provocative actions. And in this case, what you're seeing is the United States seeming to be carrying out a larger scale operation other than just a limited in and out.
Jurors in the Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts have been sent home for the day. They'll return for deliberations tomorrow. Earlier, the jury told the judge they could not reach a unanimous decision. Clancy is charged in the murder of her 3 children and says she suffered from postpartum psychosis. In Louisiana, Tropical Storm Edouard made landfall near the Johnson Bayou and now expected to move inland into Texas, packed with heavy rain. This is ABC News. Rescue efforts continuing in Nepal with more than 1,000 confirmed dead, 4,500 others still missing, including Americans, after the catastrophic glacial breakaway and flooding in Nepal and Tibet. ABC's Britt Clinnett is on scene.
Travellers on the Kailash pilgrimage, Scott and Jill Walker, among the 13 Americans in Nepal who survived, finally returning to the U.S. Monday night, after 2 days of travelling through devastated landscapes.
There were people there just helping with our luggage, helping get us across the landslides safely.
There was moments there where you're like, are we not going to make it across Tibet?
The original tour group they were a part of still unaccounted for.
In Ohio, an advocacy group representing the family of 20-year-old Pierre Damas Bell says the 20-year-old Haitian who had just graduated high school and recently lost temporary protected status died by suicide on Monday. His family says he arrived in the U.S. in 2024 to reunite with his parents who fled Haiti. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
We are counting down the hours until that potential teacher strike in Seattle, but first, Nate Connors is at the traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's start you up north in Everett. Drivers still struggling to get to the trestle from State Route 204 due to an earlier spilled load on the trestle. Westbound 204 is backed up bumper to bumper into Lake Stevens. Because of this backup, drivers are heading to Highway 9, and that's got a good mile bumper to bumper backup as well as you approach the Highway 2 interchange. South 5 into Seattle, we're doing pretty good. You're heavy on the Ship Canal Bridge in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle, under 20 minutes. North 5 has our mid-afternoon backups forming between the West Seattle Bridge and Ship Canal Bridge. A 15-minute trip to get through downtown. South 405, you're packed as you make your way through Factoria. We cleared our crash westbound 18 at Warehouser Way that had all lanes blocked for a bit, and that earlier backup behind it, that's cleared out as well. Over to the Valley Freeway in Pacific, southbound 167 at Stewart. A collision sits on your right shoulder, and that's got you backed up to the Outlet Mall. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo, and this just in. Police now searching for a shooting suspect in West Seattle. They say one person was shot in the chest last hour near 16th Avenue and Southwest Henderson Street. You're being asked to avoid that area. SPD says the shooting followed some kind of fight between two males. No other descriptions and no word yet on that victim's status. Time is running out to avoid a teacher strike in the Seattle Public School District.
What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want?
Seattle Education Association says the main sticking point right now is the district's special education programming and staffing.
All the things that interrupt the student learning. Members voted to authorize a strike because we don't have those things in place for our students.
The Seattle School Board President, Gina Topp, just posted on social media urging the two sides to reach an agreement today to ensure class starts tomorrow. She notes the district is facing a financial crisis, saying that deal needs to be fiscally responsible. Superintendent Ben Schuldner is set to provide an update on contract negotiations next hour. Boeing and its white-collar union are heading back to the bargaining table. The union says contract talks with Boeing will resume next week after members rejected the company's latest offer. Their contract expires October 6th. In Pierce County, deputies arrested 3 teenagers after an overnight crime spree involving a stolen BMW.
The juveniles, 2 14-year-olds and a 16-year-old, are suspected in multiple car prowls and an armed carjacking that stretched across Tacoma Friday night. When deputies tried to pull the BMW over Saturday morning, the driver fled, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour before crashing into a ditch. Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetta.
3 juveniles jump out of it and run from the police at that point.
All 3 teens were arrested and 2 handguns were found inside the stolen vehicle. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
And now checking your forecast with increasing clouds this afternoon. A few sprinkles later tonight. We'll see more rain and wind around for tomorrow with cool and active weather. Temperatures dropping down into the upper 60s tomorrow, mid 60s by Thursday. Right now, 71 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Spike, I've been excited about this interview for a while now. This is a topic that we had, what was it, maybe 2 weeks ago? We started sending this back and forth. It was kind of a viral thing that we saw on social media.
A little under 2 weeks ago.
A company called Rainmaker says that they were able to produce rain. They were able to send some drones up and do something amazing with cloud seeding, and it feels like a futuristic technology, but is the future here? And then I was very excited because our producer, Laura, she got the CEO of the company. His name is Augustus DeRico. He joins us right now. Augustus, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it, man.
Hey, guys. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. How's the weather where you are? Just got to ask.
I'm in gorgeous Southern California right now, so no clouds to see, no rain to make, but I'm enjoying some
rain.
Well, it's great. No clouds to see. So there's got to be a pre-existing condition. I'm getting ahead of myself. You have created a process that allows you to maximize cloud formations to make sure the clouds actually deliver the moisture that they hold down to the ground. Have I paraphrased it correctly?
So I'm actually not the inventor of this technology. Cloud seeding was invented by General Electric scientists in 1945. And then the United States used to do a ton of it in the 50s and 60s, but it fell off because nobody was able to measure exactly how much of the precipitation was man-made. You know, you fly a crop duster into a cloud, sprinkle some magic beans, and then it snows. Who's to say that you made it snow? Well, Rainmaker, as of this past year, is the first and only company in history that can unambiguously measure and prove how much of the precipitation is from us versus nature.
So the big number that kind of jumped out on my social media feed where I saw this I think this was on X. There was a post, and I think that looked like one of those weather pattern graphs that you see sometimes on the local news. you guys were able to prove and show that you have a repeatable process that you can do again. That you produce 19 million gallons of water?
19 million gallons over 3 hours with just 2 drones.
And where did this happen for the audience? Like explain to them the process. Like if somebody wants to create rain, you can't just, we can't just throw the chemicals up. Like there's a process to it. What happens?
Yeah, it's fairly scientific, but it's also straightforward. Cloud seeding, it refers to a bunch of different ways of modifying the atmosphere. It's not dimming the sun. It's not those long streaks you see in the sky, whether they're contrails or chemtrails. Cloud seeding is just taking existing clouds that have droplets of water in them that are too small to naturally fall, and then releasing dust into those clouds that the small droplets freeze onto and turn into big enough snowflakes so that they fall. And so what Rainmaker did up there was use radar and satellite to find non-precipitating clouds and then make it snow just a little bit more than it otherwise would have. And it's really important to note too, most of the water that goes over the United States atmosphere, it doesn't precipitate over land. It just gets recycled by the oceans. And so when we're seeding clouds that otherwise never would have naturally precipitated, and we're adding positive sum water to these ecosystems.
So that was one of my questions. I was like, if you go, my stupid brain way of understanding this, like you guys are milking these clouds. And if you guys are going up and milking these clouds, if they were meant to be milked somewhere else, like we have the Cascade Mountain Range. And one cool thing about that mountain range is on the eastern side of the state, it's very dry. You don't get a whole lot of water on that side of the state. On this side, if you're in, say, North Bend or like the Issaquah area, you're in basically a rainforest because those clouds, they start dumping all their water. So they get over those mountains. If you guys are milking the clouds before they're supposed to be milked, is that going to hurt later on where that rain should have been used somewhere else, just naturally? But
would you be stealing Nevada's water?
Are you stealing water? Are you guys just like, explain that.
Yeah, the questions are always, are you stealing from Peter to pay Paul? Are you playing God? What's this Californian guy with the silly haircut doing in our neighborhood? And with respect to the stealing water thing, no, it's positive sum. We're seeding clouds that otherwise wouldn't naturally precipitate. And the beauty of it is, if you're out in Spokane, if you're in the Palouse, between Washington and Idaho, if you're in Pendleton, Oregon, there's a ton of water just flying right by overhead that's not coming down that otherwise wouldn't ever. And when we seed it, we can actually bring that down for productive use, either for ecosystems in need or for fish and game preservation or for ag or for municipal use. I really want to go skiing on Mount Bachelor. Last year was a terrible season. And hopefully, we're talking to some folks, we might be able to make more snow there either this winter or in the one after that.
Wow. Okay, so you get the big snow people behind you, get Vail involved. You guys are going to be set for life.
Yeah, it's a resort clients.
So let me ask this, what's the quality of water? Do you do anything to get these clouds to precipitate? Do you do anything that compromises the quality of the water that's coming down?
It's a great question to ask. And it's not lost on me too, right? Like Californian tech company says they're modifying the weather. You shouldn't trust that person the first time you hear about it. But every time we've had these honest, good faith, transparent conversations, folks have gotten on board because we do know what we're doing is safe. And even though no one was able to prove cloud seeding worked for 80 years, we do have 80 years on the data of its safety. And silver iodide, it's a material we use. It has a crystal structure like ice, so water freezes onto it, grows into big snowflakes. At 100 parts per billion concentration, you have adverse impacts on the ecology, on crops. But we're using like a paperclip worth of silver iodide over 100,000 acres every time we fly, if not larger. And that increases the concentration like 1 part per quadrillion. So you're over 1 million times below the threshold where there's any problem for the environment.
Glad to hear it.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, totally.
A paperclip?
Well, but 1 quadrillionth instead of 3 parts per billion. I followed that.
I'm kind of dumb. I need this explained better. So you're taking a paperclip's worth of silver iodide, which is what? It's in a liquid state, and you guys are going up and spraying it? Like, how does that work?
No, so it's dust that we're releasing into the cloud.
Just dust. So how big is the thing that you're flying up there?
Well, so the drone is the size of like a lawnmower, and then it's releasing that dust, and you're releasing lots and lots of little particles, and then they freeze into snowflakes. But the beauty of it is those first snowflakes, they break apart and create more snowflakes and more. And so you get this chain reaction that's super efficient, and you can produce, 19 million gallons. That sounds like a lot of water. It is, but it's 1/10 of an inch of precipitation down on the ground. It's just over a pretty big area.
So can you scale this up to make it beneficial to? I mean, we talk about the drought that this world is experiencing. It seems like to me these days. We can talk specifically about Salt Lake City being record lows, like Havasu being record lows. The Colorado River is drying up, and so many states are counting on this for sustenance. Can you guys scale this process up to make it a benefit and maybe a saving grace?
Yeah, I think in the same way that the Hoover Dam was a spectacular piece of American engineering and innovation, cloud seeding is just the next natural step for water infrastructure in America to produce hundreds of thousands to millions of acre feet, trillions of gallons of water for the Columbia, the Snake, the Great Salt Lake, the Colorado River. And it's going to take a long time. And I don't think that this solution is the only one we should be using. Like, we should be smart and conserve water and not waste it. But by using cloud seeding, we'll be able to scale water production in the interior and save a lot of these ecosystems that are on fire, right? I'm in LA, the city's burning down in an apocalyptic fire because our reservoirs to fight them are empty. We need that water for all these different interests, and I think cloud seeding is going to be the biggest lever that we have to save the American West.
How quickly, let's say somebody has like a Spokane or somebody, Eastern Washington, they recognize that they don't have the water that they should have had already, and that's going to be, bad for their farming season. How quickly can you guys come in and make a meaningful difference if you guys are able to grow at the rate you want to?
So unlike dams or desalination plants that take a decade to build and billions of dollars, Rainmaker, we're manufacturing our radar and our drones. We can deploy to a program in about 2 months from when we get the green light, and then start inducing precipitation in the days immediately after that.
Which is so crazy. I mean, so in the case of the test case you just did up in Alaska, like, how many years have you guys been working on this that you finally got to 19 million gallons of water?
Yeah, so Rainmakers existed for 3 years. First 2 years, we were mostly smashing our head against the wall, and it wasn't working.
Nice.
Either the drones were freezing up in icing conditions in the clouds, or the particles we were releasing were the wrong size, or our radar was off. But as of January to today, I think across all of our operations, we've done 170 some odd million gallons. And this winter, we're going to try to produce over 9 billion gallons across Utah, Idaho, Colorado, Oregon. I think that will exceed the total desalination capacity of California across our 6 months of operation.
It's a big number, but only because we've been talking so much about like data center stuff recently. I've been looking into like water usage in agriculture. I mean, at that 9 billion figure you just talked about, that's just a small percentage of what big agriculture uses daily. I think their number is like 176 billion gallons of water is being used daily by agriculture in the United States, which accounts for like 80% of the water usage.
Tell him he's in California. He's an almond country.
Almonds use a ton, all these different things. And you guys, if you're able to supplement a bunch of that by creating new water that wouldn't have otherwise fallen, that seems like you guys are in kind of a pretty sweet business.
Well, I mean, we've had farms in California and the Western U.S. for 100 years that are going bust right now because they don't have enough water. And so the farmers or the data centers, they catch flack for using water. And again, we should be smart about how we use what we have. But I don't want to live in a country where farms and infrastructure that we've had for so long, or infrastructure that we want to develop, we can't because we don't have enough water, right? Like, I eat some almonds. I'm not like a huge almond guy, but like, we should have more almond farming. We should have more alfalfa. We should be able to build new housing developments in deserts because we can produce the water that we need. That's what American engineers have been doing in the West here for the last 100 years. This tech is just the latest and greatest version of water infrastructure.
We're talking to Augustus DeRico from Rainmaker. You guys seed clouds and make rain. The people who are opposed to this, what are their arguments? I mean, I know you guys say you're playing God, but more specifically, if you drain these clouds that weren't going to rain anyway, is that going to create an imbalance or a shortage somewhere else? I'm not saying this the rain that would have fallen in Nevada, but you said it eventually will go over the ocean and fall into the oceans. Is to drain precipitation out of the atmosphere, is there any kind of negative effect if you scale it up to a usable number?
So no, for the next many decades. This is positive sum seeding. So we're getting more water on land than we would naturally get otherwise. And the cool thing about that is, like, we're not talking about greening the Mojave right now, right? We're just trying to get back to baseline. The Great Salt Lake, it had like twice the surface area that it does right now. It had way more water 40 years ago. the Colorado River, it had like double the flow, give or take, in 1922 when we signed the compact. We're just trying to get back to the water level and the environment that we built all of these cities around. That's our first priority. But again, like the people that do have questions, that are skeptical of this, I think that they're very worthwhile. And like, California tech guy says he's going to modify the weather. Please reach out to me on X. Happy to answer questions there. I try to respond. Every time we have one of these good faith conversations, people seem pretty bought in.
The cool thing about a company like this is it really does highlight American innovation.
Yeah.
And when you think about these different time periods, I mean, like we're talking a lot about AI right now. And, I've heard many, like, was it Bill Gates the other day he was kind of warning about AI, but he was also saying like AI is going to be a bigger impact than the internet was on the world. Like people just maybe aren't embracing it as much as they did the internet because it doesn't seem as I don't know. I honestly don't even know what Bill Gates' point was. I think he was just trying to sell us something. But like America, we're really good at coming up with problem or solves to problems. And ingenuity is the thing that like helps us move into the next phase. And so like with this water thing, if the big thing is we don't have enough water and data centers are eating too much water,
wars are going to be fought over water in the future.
Whatever the complaint is, and then a company comes along and says like, hey, we can actually help with that. It's a pretty simple process and we can give you more water. Are you guys getting, how much more interest are you guys getting in your company now after you were able to, do that 19 million gallons? It's got to be pretty wild.
Yeah, from farms to ski resorts, we've been talking to a bunch of like housing developers that want to develop land that doesn't have enough water right now, and we can provide water there. Governments across the United States, Latin America, the Middle East, there's a ton of interest in it. But, to your point on American innovation, Americans invented this technology in 1945. But the tragedy is China's kind of picked up the ball and run with it. They spend $500 million a year on their cloud seeding program. They have 40,000 employees in their state weather modification office. They have 2 universities that offer degrees in weather engineering, like not meteorology, not atmospheric science, but specifically how to engineer the weather. And so you've got this like David Goliath story where we're this scrappy startup in California trying to compete on the world stage with other governments in the Middle East with enormous state program from China. And, I would bet on an American company 100 times out of 100. But we do have to take this technology seriously because it's going to exist whether it is built in the United States or not.
Do you have any support are you reaching out to government organizations? Has the government seen this, interested in this, investing in this?
Yeah.
So the Department of Natural Resources in Utah and Idaho and Colorado, those are all customers and partners of ours. Some other Western states, we have municipal customers. At the federal level, we do some work with them overseas. But so far, no, we're not working with the Department of Interior or USDA. I think that in time, now that we've proven that it works, right? That was a really important precondition. We'll see a lot more work together for American hydro, American ecosystems, and American ag.
Yeah, 19 million gallons in 3 hours. That's a pretty big. That's
like
a pretty
30.
big.
It's like 30 Olympic swimming pools.
Business card.
But you also said it's what, a tenth of an inch. So on the ground. Yeah.
It's a lot of water over a really large area, so it's not that much. It's not super heavy. But if you've got 100 shots on goal over the course of the winter to make more snow, to make a bit more rain in the fall and the spring, that turns into a super consequential volume in those 6 months.
Pretty fascinating.
Final question?
Yeah, final question. Go for it.
Do you own the technology? Are you publicly traded? Can I invest? Boom.
We're a private company. You can't buy stock publicly yet. I'll make sure to text you, Jake and Spike. Maybe that's like an SEC violation, but I'll text you guys in a few years before we go public.
We're certainly not making any deals on the air. We would never say anything like that. We're not promoting. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's fantastic.
We're not investors in the company, and we are very interested in the work you guys are doing over there at Rainmaker. Augustus DeRico, cool company. You got a cool name too. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Take care. Man, that's pretty interesting stuff, isn't it?
Very interesting stuff. And you're right about the American ingenuity aspect of this. I mean, this was invented in the 40s and 50s, but abandoned?
Well,
that kind of blows my mind.
You think about it too, like the delivery mechanism now being just a drone, like
it's getting easier to.
It's so much cheaper and easier.
Yeah.
Before you'd have to hook it onto a plane, you'd have to fly up there, you'd have to fly. I mean, like that's a huge expense
to something that you're just seeing if it works.
And back then, you also were kind of casting a wider net. It didn't feel like maybe it was as specific as they can be now, and maybe the measurables also were tougher to like pin down. Technology has really advanced since 1945.
And I liked what he said about being just one element in solving this problem.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cool.
I loved it. Love the story. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for getting them.
Yeah, good job, Laura. All right, we got a lot more coming up. When we come back, the Seahawks signed... he's going to be our very own Rudy Rudiger. I swear. We're going to talk about him next. The Seahawks signed a player who was, until very recently, a substitute teacher. And he also has his real estate license because he wasn't sure if the NFL thing was going to work out. But we're going to talk about it next. It's pretty fantastic. We got some great audio, too. Stick around. Be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz here again with Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are some folks getting CP 504 notices. This is not something that should be ignored. You need a professional.
When you receive a CP 504 notice, alarm bells need to go off. And as much as you just want to push that envelope aside, because they know it's not going to be good. And it's not a very good notice to get because it means the IRS is really coming down on you hard. Get help right away. Call somebody that knows what they're doing and get some assistance.
How have you helped?
We help them by understanding exactly where they're at. We interview them, we talk with them, find out. We'd like to know, how did you get here? And then we make a plan whereby we do our level best to help people with this struggle they are having now with their taxes.
Judgment-free.
Judgment-free.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with None Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
A dark night, a quiet suburb. But for one family, danger lurks just downstairs.
Oh, no. That's just my husband getting a midnight snack.
Guilty. But
We have Xfinity Shield. It has a built-in Wi-Fi feature that detects movement without cameras.
well, what they didn't know is that an even bigger threat lurks online. A hacker.
Actually, Xfinity CyberSecure protects our connected devices, too.
Okay, fine. But what they didn't see coming
is that these features are included with our Wi-Fi. We did. Kind of the whole point.
Well, this one's not getting a sequel.
What if protecting your home and devices could be drama-free? Introducing Xfinity Shield with Wi-Fi features designed to give you peace of mind. Visit xfinity.com/shield to learn more. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Xfinity Internet and compatible equipment required.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
The new SR167 Expressway opens soon and will be toll-free till winter. It's the shortcut between I-5 and SR509 near Fife, so drivers can avoid congestion and freight trucks can deliver direct to the port. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub. Our Swim Into Savings event is here, and it is huge. Special savings plus a factory rebate mean up to $20,000 off an endless pool swim spa package. That's our biggest savings of the year. Swim, relax, and feel amazing right in your own backyard. Do not miss this. It ends September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. Washington, one of 9 states now being targeted in a new federal voter fraud crackdown. The Department of Homeland Security plans to pursue the potential fraud and build cases for prosecution. The surge runs through mid-October, right as the midterm elections ramp up. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs tells KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula.
The feds are usually with us, and they're not. Instead, they're doing this. They're trying to undermine our elections. I don't get it.
Hobbs says there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in recent elections here. DHS says it does not comment on active investigations. A growing reward is being offered in the search for the killer of a Coast Guard lieutenant in Skyway. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports.
A GoFundMe launch for Connor Overstreet has already raised tens of thousands of dollars. According to King County Sheriff's Office, deputies came to 124th and South Langston on reports of a shooting, and responders got here, tried to save the victim, but couldn't. Now people living in this area are concerned beyond last weekend, since one shot is all it took to kill someone just feet from their doorstep.
It's one, big one. I said, I don't believe that. I said.
This is an active homicide investigation. Crime Stoppers is hoping that anyone who may have seen something in this area or heard something will give the police a call.
Temporary break on tariffs for imported beef is now in effect as of today. This is a 90-day program that the White House says will help bring down grocery bills. But cattle ranchers are not happy. Jack Field is the executive director of Washington Cattle Feeders Association.
I would just ask the president to please step back, stay out of the beef market. I'm not quite sure what the hyper focus is on beef prices.
Field says his biggest issue was energy costs as higher fuel prices cut into his profits. He also warns cheaper foreign beef could undercut efforts to rebuild the U.S. cattle herd, which is sitting at a 75-year low. The earliest Apple Cup ever is set for this weekend. Number 17 Washington hosting Washington State on Sunday. Huskies blew out the Cougs last year 59-24. UW QB Damon Williams Jr. is not looking past them.
Obviously, it's definitely different. It's a completely different team from a year ago with a ton of great athletes. So definitely not undermining any of that. We understand that they're a really good team.
This is the first time the Apple Cup will open the season. Kickoff at 1 o'clock Sunday at Husky Stadium. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 2:32. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Let's see. This one brought to you by Global Credit Union. Up in Everett, eastbound 2, just prior to the EB Slough, got a stall blocking your right lane. You're backed up to Homeacres. There's some good news finally up in that area. That earlier backup on westbound 204 has cleared out. It was bumper to bumper coming out of Lake Stevens down to the trestle earlier. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're looking pretty good. You'll eventually jam up at 520 in the downtown. North 5, however, we're bumper to bumper approaching the West Seattle Bridge past I-90. Another thick backup between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge, about 20 minutes to clear downtown. South 405 is packed between Southeast 8th through Factoria. Down in Pacific on the Valley Freeway, southbound 167 at Jovita, a collision blocks your right lane. That's got you bumper to bumper approaching State Route 18. And over to I-5 in the general same area, South 5, we're packed from State Route 18 down to the Puyallup River Bridge. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
We are getting increasing clouds today ahead of a soggy and breezy Wednesday. Highs tomorrow will be in the upper 60s, mid-60s on Thursday with some spotty showers and some light rain continuing into Friday as well. Right now, 69 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Very excited to be talking about the Seahawks. What are we, just 8 days away from a
week from tomorrow? Yep, week from tomorrow.
And it's it's a home game, yes?
Home game. The NFL season starts right here in Seattle. The defending Super Bowl champions against the losers that are the New England Patriots. Oh,
pretty exciting.
It's going to be great.
I know. I can't wait. You know what's so fun about this time of year? Not only does it have the benefits of being fall and all the stuff that we love, the holiday season, all that stuff, but man, football just makes it fly by. It just goes so fast.
I saw a thing, husband and young couple, husband and wife. It's like, yeah, the next 19 weeks. Yeah. She's like,
I know.
Forget brunch. There's a game.
It's 100% what it is. All right. One of the fun things about watching the Seahawks this time of year is they've whittled their roster down to 53, which they're required to do. But that doesn't actually mean that that's the final. Is that how it works out? They can still pick up other players.
Yeah, especially John Schneider. He's constantly looking to make this team better. No matter what it takes, he looks for waiver wires, looks for free agent signings. When the rosters were trimmed to 90 to 53 on Sunday, a lot of guys got in the pool.
Yeah.
And John Schneider's a guy that never stops looking for talent.
So they could still theoretically pick up somebody who's been waived by another team or a free agent.
Yeah.
But that would require all the other teams to look at them first, right? Because we're pretty low in that pecking order.
Right. And since our roster
was so good.
Right. And our roster was pretty set. It had 3-4 openings totally.
Yeah.
After last year, bringing so many guys back from the championship team.
So there's one name that people are talking about. I saw this posted a bunch of places. This could have actually been a feeding time. This was all over my social feeds. But we decided to kind of spread it out and have a little more fun with it. There's a guy who's a wide receiver, and his name is Montori. Am I pronouncing that right?
Montori Foster Jr.
Montori Foster Jr. Right? I'm sure you saw him too.
Sure.
So
saw his folks in the stands.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
This is a guy who, his backstory and how he got to where he's at right now with the Seahawks. He's a former teacher. He's got his real estate license.
Got a backup plan.
The reason he had to do those were backup plans.
Yeah.
He got injured last year.
Right.
He was invited to try out with the Seahawks last year. He gets injured. He ends up having to go home. So then he becomes a substitute teacher in Ohio. He ends up teaching a Latin class.
Back at the school, his high school.
He doesn't even speak Latin.
Right. I did some research on this guy once he made the final roster. It's a great story. He didn't start football till his junior year in high school. He then went on to play at Michigan State.
Amazing.
Went undrafted, came to the Hawks camp and injured his hamstring and got cut.
And that was last year.
So he went back to Ohio. He started teaching. He got his real estate license, but he kept working out. He never stopped working out and running routes.
It reminds me, we have some audio here in a second. He talks about advice he got from his dad, which is just, when you think about this through the lens of, I see everything now as a parent. When you're young, you see everything as like, okay, I'm a kid seeing the world. But now I see it as like thinking about my kids someday doing some of this types of stuff. And just how proud his parents must be of him. And this advice, I'll just play this advice real fast and I'll tell you what it makes me think of. But this is advice he got from his dad.
Yeah, it means everything, man. I was back at home, for 16 weeks. And, it was tough, man. It was times where, I wanted to give up and just, get a regular job. But I stayed at it. My dad told me cream always rise to the top and just to stay faithful. And I just kept working. And, I'm here today.
And now he's a Seattle Seahawk. I mean, he's living his dream that last year he thought that door was closed last year. That must have been one of the most excruciating experiences in your life. You get so close.
Right. And see how close it is to make it or not make it. He injured his hamstring.
Yeah.
And then as like December 30th, he got a call from the Hawks right before the postseason started to come in and try out, and he was put on the practice squad for the postseason last year.
Amazing.
So this guy got a Super Bowl ring.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
And then he's up on the podium. He's part of the parade. He's on a float. Nobody really knows who he is. Who's this guy? But he got a ring. The practice squad is a very valuable part of that team, keeps the guys ready. He said he got to run routes during that postseason run against the best guys in football. He's out running pass routes as part of the practice squad.
So cool.
So in the offseason, he just committed himself to making this roster. Got invited to camp, fought his way through a very contentious wide receiver group. And to be honest, it's amazing what it takes. If Jake Bobo doesn't go down,
I know.
This guy probably doesn't make the squad. Probably back on the practice squad this year.
But you got to be ready in case something happens.
He was ready when the Hawks need him, and now he's going to be an NFL player.
John Schneider was asked about him, just his story. He talked a little bit about it.
Yeah, really, really proud of him, and then proud of his teammates, obviously his position coaches. I've never seen a player. I don't know. I say that it's hard to remember a player that at the receiver position that's improved as quickly as he has. I told Jax I felt like he just took his film and just completely studied it, or just followed him around for all spring or something. But and then his special team stuff's been really nice too. So he's done a great job.
It's just cool that he's getting this opportunity now and that he stuck with it. And it reminds me of, he obviously getting invited to be part of the practice squad. That obviously elevates him in a way that he's not just like at home in the classroom.
No, he's part of this team. He's learning this program. He's learning how we do things here.
But it's because we're athletes. But that's what a fan does.
That's what a fan does.
You're part of it.
That's their gift to us.
But still, he did go home. He had to teach classes. He did that stuff. He has that kind of that dark period. It's not a dark period, but you know what I mean?
Well,
it's not the dream that he wants.
Dreams pull away without you.
And it made me think of a couple of things. Did you ever see the movie Invincible with
Of course.
Wahlberg.
Yes.
And the story on that is he was basically a guy who was a pretty good athlete in high school.
Yeah.
Decided, he didn't chase his dreams maybe as much as he should have.
Ended up being a substitute school teacher and a bartender.
Was it Philly?
In Philadelphia. Yeah.
And this was in the 1970s, and they hold the Eagles are so bad at that time that they hold an open tryout just to get press.
A PR move.
Yeah. He shows up because his buddy's not. Again, I don't know how much of this is the Hollywood version, how much is actual reality, but he ends up going to the tryout. He ends up getting found. He's like the one guy that they hold on to.
Invite him to camp.
And then he ends up playing. What did he play? 2 or 3 seasons with the Phillies?
In the NFL.
Or with the Eagles.
The Eagles, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and we got our own little guy. We got our own little guy. This guy's a world-class athlete.
Massive.
This is an amazing story. Did you see his folks on Hard Knocks?
I did not. Okay,
sorry.
No, it's okay because I saw all the different posts were he became kind of a Hard Knocks darling because his story's so cool. I have not seen past episode 2.
Okay,
I have a lot of stuff to catch up on.
Well, and not to be too much of a spoiler, but his folks get to come watch him play in a preseason game.
That's cool.
Right? Because you never know if that might be the only chance they get to watch their guy in an NFL uniform on an NFL field. But now they got a whole season.
And he scored,
who knows what the future holds.
A touchdown in his first game, didn't he?
I
believe he might have.
Okay, well, he had one great catch that got called back called it incomplete.
Oh, okay.
But now he's got a whole season.
Yeah, look at that. He had five passes for 36 yards and a touchdown. Seahawks' first preseason game.
Nice.
Pretty sweet. The other thing it made me think of, and I got to play this because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is my top 3 movie. There's a couple of these movies, but this would be top 3. Rudy.
Yeah.
Just one of those stories that you just can't beat. It's one of the best. And obviously this guy's been
another one where Hollywood took some liberties, but it's a great film.
Yeah, for sure. But it's fantastic.
Well, I got to tell you, it's just occurred to me what the student body has been chanting for the last 2 or 3 minutes. It's the name Rudy. Dan Rudy. A walk-on senior, subject of a feature article in yesterday's student newspaper, The Observer. After
Our Hawks fans going to be chanting
Montori.
It doesn't have. It's not quite as easy to chant.
We can get it going.
Foster might be a better way. Foster.
toiling for 2 years at Carnegie Field and
Go get it, kid!
His dad just, yeah, that's Montori Foster Sr. in the crowd with his mom and him. It's real life. You can't write stories like this. Exactly what happened. Ultimate attack. Oh, here we go. He's so little.
Here it comes.
Since 1971, ever no player's been carried off the field at Notre Dame.
You know who he's playing against, too?
Georgia Tech, right?
Rabel.
Oh, Rabes was on the Georgia Tech team?
Wasn't Rabel on the Georgia Tech team?
I think you might be right, yeah.
I think he was on the field as that was happening.
That's great.
He was the one who got tech. No, just kidding. He didn't get tired. All right. We have a lot more coming up. We got your last call next with your text messages. Stay tuned for that. And I think we're all rooting for Foster. All right. We'll be right back. Stick around.
Former Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes gives his first interview since he was forced to resign in the wake of the Bite of Seattle shooting, exclusively on the G and Ursula Show.
Did she give you any specific reasons?
No. When I went into the meeting, it was to listen, and what I heard was that I was going to be asked to resign and that a subsequent meeting was going to be held the following day, and then I turned things over to my attorney.
See the full conversation on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Spike O'Neill here for Aegis Living. If you're at a point in your life where you may need assisted living or memory care for a member of your family or a loved one, do yourself a favor and go check out the folks at Aegis Living. The location's all around the Puget Sound area. Reviews are undeniable. Voted #1 senior living community in all of America in 2025. That's a review of 500,000 reviews over 60,000 communities nationwide, and Aegis Living ranked #1 senior living community. Voted best of Western Washington. Luxury communities with resort-style amenities, chef-prepared meals, level of care other resorts can only, care facilities can only dream of. AgeLiving.com/Spike. Book a visit today.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. You've heard the saying, you are what you eat. Eggs are an incredible source of protein and omega-3s. But have you thought about what the hens eat to make healthier eggs? At Wilcox Farms, our hens enjoy organic pastures and a diet of organic grains and flaxseed, creating vibrant yolks, richer flavor, and real nutrition for your family. Next time you're at the store, choose Wilcox Eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
If you remember listening to this, and this, and this, then remember this. COVID hasn't gone away. And if you're an adult with conditions like diabetes, asthma, or heart disease, it can cause serious setbacks. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about the latest COVID vaccine. It's one of the best ways to help protect yourself. Find out more at PfizerForAll.com. Pfizer. Outdo yesterday.
Did you see what Olympia is calling their latest new tax?
The millionaire's tax? Yep.
You know, it's really an income tax.
So what's the difference?
A millionaire's tax doesn't sound like it applies to you, but it does. Olympia created the income tax and refused to limit it. They left the door open to tax everyone, including you.
So what do we do?
Vote yes on Initiative 645. It repeals the income tax completely, so Olympia can't expand it and get into your paycheck.
Wait, we're repealing an income tax?
Yes, we're repealing an income tax.
And we vote yes to repeal it?
Yes. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Okay. Vote yes to repeal the income tax.
Well, see, they picked that name on purpose. Tell your friends vote yes on Initiative 645. Let's repeal the income tax. Visit voteyes645.com for more information. Paid for by Vote Yes, Repeal the Income Tax. Top 5 contributors, BIAW Member Services Corp., Peter and Liz Moorkill, Catalan Solutions, Inc., Steve Gordon.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment. Often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue, with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital LLC and MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Have you ever really thought about what happens when you can no longer care for yourself?
If you're not prepared, it's like they just ship you off to a nursing home and you may not even have considered all the options that are available to you.
After retiring, Vic attended a free seminar with elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach at LifePoint Law, and it changed the way he planned for his future.
He talked about not running out of money, not being a burden to your family. Those are two kind of basic principles that are obviously important.
So what's Vic's advice?
You have to have a plan. You need a running start. You need to be able to understand the system. I would encourage people to consider getting educated. Rajiv has a lot of knowledge, a lot of practical experience that can be helpful.
Attend an upcoming seminar in Redmond, September 12th, Gig Harbor on the 15th, Olympia on the 17th, or Federal Way, September 19th. Reservations are free today, but space is limited. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com. Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS. Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends. Meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at bellevuecollection.com/dining district.
Welcome back to the show. It is last call. We have finally reached the last segment of the day. We get to hear from you on all the different things we talked about. My goodness, what a lot of stuff today. We had teachers. We had
bounty hunters,
deli owners giving out things.
Living single.
Yes.
We got it all today. Parallel parking.
Go for it, Spike. Jump on
the bounty hunter chasing down drug dealers, bounty hunters in a North Seattle neighborhood next to a playground. Josh in 360 says, your opinion of the RB neighbors is popular with me, Jake. Get the scumbags out of my neighborhood by whatever means necessary.
It's interesting because there is a fine line. You did bring this up earlier. You don't want the drug dealers there earlier.
Of course
you
not,
also
no.
don't want any bad stuff to happen when those the bounty hunters are going in.
I don't feel like that these even bounty hunters shouldn't be off the leash to just fire willy-nilly but that can be dangerous too. Is all I'm saying.
But thankfully in this case they were non-lethal weapons.
Yeah,
so there is a little more latitude there.
Agreed there.
All right, Doug in Mount Vernon says fugitive recovery needs to hire the Care Bear teams to de-escalate the neighbors. Yeah, why aren't the Care Bears going
I haven't heard from them in weeks.
What happened to
What's
those
going
Care Bears?
On the benefits of being single, B in Puyallup says, I've been single for a while. I like to do my own thing. I've recently started to talk to someone, and now I feel obligated that I can't do my own thing.
Obligated and can't do my own thing. Here's the danger of being single for too long. Routines are tough to break, and habits are tough to break. So if you build a life around having exactly your way and exactly the things that you want, you may not be as malleable when you find somebody who wants to live a life with you, and that might be difficult to try to fit your two lives together.
Right.
And so I would recommend that, it's fun to be single. That's definitely a phase in everybody's life for a while, but don't close yourself off to coupling up. There you go. It's a good thing. Chuck in Lake Forest Park says, Spike, I think that pots actually boil over faster with a lid. Oh, that's funny.
It does happen. You're right. Kirk from Tacoma says, regarding your single and expanding yourself, being single and expanding yourself. No kids, no spouse. Your biggest responsibility in the morning is making sure your socks match. Then you go on a journey to Nepal, whatever. However, as a family, your sense of giving and responsibility exceeds most personally, I think. I think that creates a better world.
Honestly, just as a quick aside, I don't want anybody to come away from our conversation about the benefits of being single. We saw a study, so we talked about it. I think being in a loving relationship with kids far outweighs. I've been single.
Me too.
Now I'm married with kids, and I was saying to my wife this morning, as we're getting breakfast ready for the kids, amidst the chaos and all the craziness, these beautiful little angels are in your house, and you get this time with them. You get to see the whole world through their eyes.
Right.
It is 1,000 times better than being a kid yourself, which you can't really experience until you have your own kids.
Right.
So if you can, I highly recommend that.
Watching your kid cross the stage for graduation, or hit a goal in a soccer game, or hit a ball in a baseball game.
Yep.
I wouldn't trade it for a million jet ski runs.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
All right, go for it.
Should teachers be paid to live where they work? Murray, be paid enough to live where they work. Murray in Des Moines says, bring in performance-based raises. We have too many kids failing. We can't even do the basic math and spell the word strike.
Bill in Lake Stevens says, if the argument is that they need to make enough money to live where they work, then they should be required to buy houses in the zip code where they work, not take that money and go buy something nicer outside the city. That's an interesting point, actually. If you're being paid on the scale of to afford to live within, say, 10 miles of your workplace, and you choose to live outside, is it fair to get that raise?
Probably not. I think forfeiting that would be a fair thing to ask. Do teachers get summers off? Heidi in Everett says, we need a teacher to weigh in. They do have summers off, she says.
I'm hoping that Heidi is a teacher.
A teacher, I would think so too, yeah.
Wes in Lakewood says, my mom was a teacher in Marysville School District. She would still work for 2 to 3 weeks after the last day of school, breaking down and storing the classroom, and then would easily show up a month before school to start setting up the classroom as well as the beginning of lesson planning. That was for first grade. Thank you, Wes.
That was kind of my point. They have a break in the summer, but I don't think it's 3 full months. But we're splitting hairs. 253 says, my wife is a teacher in the Kent School District and co-department chair. She spent multiple days this summer helping conduct interviews for new applicants. Also, something nobody ever talks about is teachers having a choice of spreading their income over 12 months or just getting paid during the school year.
Oh, that's right, because they can get paid, so they can choose to get it
break
through
down
summer
for 12
as well.
Months, yeah, so there's no interruption.
What would you do?
They can't budget.
It's like taking a lump sum in the lottery.
I can't budget.
So you take
I want it doled out.
Doled out. Yep. All right, that's all the time we got, guys. Thank you so much for listening today. We had a ton of fun. This almost felt like a Friday show, but we're only getting warmed up.
I know, it's tomorrow's Sunday.
It's only Wednesday.
Yeah, it's
tomorrow.
great.
All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow. John Curley coming up next. We will see you back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Charlie Harger.
I want to be a watchdog.
From Seattle's Morning News.
Somebody who is not accepting from the government at face value what they're telling you. I might not even be necessarily against a politician, but if I see an issue or a policy that I think are worthy of a conversation, I'm going to bring it up.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's Morning News.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
Welcome to IKEA!
What's with the wind?
Everyone's just been blown away by all the new products.
Wow, is that?
Yep, the Rascog card in a new red-brown color.
The price is amazing! And is that the Billy bookcase?
A classic, and it comes in a new beautiful blue.
Is my hair okay?
Explore hundreds of new products this season when you shop in-store or online at ikea.us/discover new. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-762-6565. That's 800-762-6565.
Pet Decorator wood floors are not only gorgeous, they perform better than all other wood floors. Here's a few examples. The patented finish is made to last a lifetime. Antimicrobial and no VOC. Waterproof. Easy installation with a lifetime warranty. The most pet-friendly wood floor anywhere. Available at Sound Kitchen and Bath. Call today, petdecorator.com.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's